balls. We're kind of setting a trend here.
So it would be, if we just held it secure and made it on Saturday and Sunday, we'd have a big turnout, probably almost every presidential campaign. We have 2 days. 8 o'clock is when we can release information on Sunday night. What's so radical about that?
2 days, Jerry? Would you like the people down in Fall River or in parts of the city of Boston to have control of ballots overnight? A lot of police overtime, I think.
On second thought. No, there are people, of course, who would tamper, it's for sure, but...
Yeah, try not to let it destroy your faith in American democracy, folks out there, but there are people who would try to steal the election.
Everyone knows I love coffee and I'm not giving it up. I know that it would keep me up from time to time, but no longer with Balance 7. Balance 7 is a clear mineral liquid that you take 3 times a day to break down the acid in your body. When it does this, you'll feel better, and I sleep better. Often I'm asked to try products and I can be very skeptical on their claims. But with Balance 7, it was all 100% true. With Balance 7, I didn't feel my energy starting to flag as the day wore on, because by sleeping better at night, it also gave me mental clarity during the day. Balance 7 is a highly alkalizing concentrate. That means it reduces the acids that have built up in your body. Balance 7 is also known for reducing acid reflux and heartburn, as it did for the mailroom manager. Balance 7 is made of safe, all-natural ingredients. If you suffer from heartburn, acid reflux, or sleep issues, you should give Balance 7 a try. Order the 8-ounce 12-pack supply at balance7.com. Put in code word Howie. You will save $10 and you'll also get free shipping. Balance7.com.
And now, a minute of wisdom from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Millennials and people and, Gen Z and all these folks that come after us are looking up, and we're like, the world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. And your biggest issue is how are we going to pay for it? And this is the war. This is our World War II.
I think that there's a lot of people more concerned about being precisely, factually, and semantically correct.
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
They weren't taking the 3 hard drives, which of course are electronic devices. I said, well, don't you want these? And they said, what are they? I said, those are Hunter Biden's hard drives. And they said, no. I said, are you sure you don't want them? I mean, the warrant required them to take it.
Listen, if you are feeling uncomfortable about this at all, do not feel like you have to take it.
Why?
If you're having second thoughts, if you didn't want it, don't worry about it, because, I could take it.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
I want it opened up on Monday. I want to open up New York City Tuesday. I want to open it up Wednesday. I want Buffalo fully opened on Thursday.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
Welcome to the Howie Carr Show. I was spending the morning today transcribing Dementia Joe Biden's sound over the last few days. Yikes. I want to do it for my occasional weekend at Biden's column in the Herald. And I'm amazed again at what he says on a daily basis and how it doesn't get reported anywhere. He just gets a pass, a total pass. And last night in Georgia, he lost his mask. He took the mask off, and when he finished his incoherent, wheezing, coughing statements, he looked for his mask, and he couldn't find it.
Looking for my mask. I'm in trouble.
I'm so glad I finally found you.
He looked on the podium. He looked in his prepared loose leaf binder that he was allegedly trying to read from, and finally Jill had to come up, and I think she reached into his pocket and found it in his pocket. He had forgotten that he had it in his pocket. But that's the second time in at least about a week or 10 days that he said, I'm in trouble. And I guess Trump used to say sometimes, I'm in trouble. Well, if I say this, I'll be in trouble. But it was always a joke. I mean, with Biden, it doesn't seem to be that much of a joke. He's the only president I've ever heard that seriously seems to worry about getting in trouble.
Oh, he said it the other day, too, when he was answering questions from the
press. That's what I mean. He said, if I keep answering these questions, I'm going to get in trouble. So like I said, this is like 2 times in 10 days.
Well, I'm sorry. This last question I'll take. And I'm really going to be in trouble.
With who? Joe, we're all asking the questions. Who's really pulling the strings? Who's the puppet master? Who's the man behind the curtain? But you're the front man. You're not supposed to be copping to it. You're supposed to be keeping a stiff upper lip. 844-500-4242. But one thing about going over all these cuts today, Taylor, is I'm not going to be surprised by anything. I know exactly the ones I want to play here today.
Well, the day's not out. He's speaking in Philadelphia right now at the Amtrak anniversary.
Oh, he is. Okay. So in other words, the 58 I've already heard today, there may be more.
Could be. Yeah, it could be 72. You never know.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to go down I'm going to go down some of these ones. First of all, he does not seem to be very healthy. I mean, we're worried about his mental faculties. But he also seems to have a problem with his general health. I mean, he has this cough that he can't seem to shake here. We're going to have to play a few of these cuts. Cut 16.
We made Georgia eligible to expand Medicaid, which means another 500,000 Georgians can be covered. Excuse me.
Cut 17.
And here's the thing I'm most proud of.
Cut 18.
It will provide clean drinking water for every American, or 10 million homes in America.
Cut 20.
Inviting all the world's polluters and all the world's emitters, including the biggest nations in the world.
He invented a new department here.
Can I just point something out? All these coughs seem to happen when he's talking about either healthcare or pollution.
Okay, before we get to the new department, he likes to talk about systemic racism and why is it that some certain groups have more resources than other groups? Cut 23.
Got some great, but it means how did most of the middle class folks who are Caucasian or white, how'd they make it?
But it beans. What kind of beans?
But it means how did most of the middle class folks who are Caucasian or white, how'd they make it?
Green beans? Lima beans? What kind of beans? Now, this is a great sentence. He's talking about historically black colleges, and he forgets certain words here, which, they're not that common a word, but the word he's looking for is endowment, and he just can't come up with it. I mean, this guy, he brags about being a professor in the Ivy League, right? University of Pennsylvania. He brags that Dr. Jill, his wife, has this university job, but he can't come up with the basic vocabulary he needs to explain the situation with historically black colleges. Cut 21.
Got some great historical black universities and colleges in Georgia. And we're going to be investing them and investing in them and increasing Pell Grants. They don't have all the money that comes from the large universities.
The money. How about endowment? Is it really? Come on. Now we have a rewrite of history. This guy is worth tens of millions of dollars, as we know. He is, as those laptops, the Hunter Biden laptop showed, he's the big guy. He gets, depending on who Hunter is writing to or what his condition is, how crack-addled or how stoned or drunk he is, the big guy gets between 10 and 50% of everything that Hunter can deliver. But he wants everybody to know that he's from humble background. Cut 22.
Because although I was a senator, I was listed as the poorest senator in history, but not history, but in the years I was there.
Poor senator in history. Well, not history exactly. You know, come on. And now he tries to pull the old Jack Kennedy, the old Jack Kennedy with Jackie Kennedy. You know, when Jack Kennedy was president, he took Jackie with him, the first lady, over to Paris to some meeting with Charles de Gaulle or somebody. And he came back and he said, I will always be referred to as the man, the consort, whatever he said, that who accompanied Jacqueline Kennedy to Paris. But of course, Joe Biden can't put it in quite those terms. Cut 12.
I am Jill's husband, is obvious to everybody. I never get introduced as she's my wife. I'm her husband.
I never get introduced as
she's my wife.
Oh, she's my wife. I never get introduced as she's my wife. I'm her husband. You know what? I've never been introduced that way either. Have you? Has anyone here? And someone just points out that I moved over it fast, but he said, if you're Caucasian or white. Okay. He had a special distinguished guest with him last night in Georgia that he wanted to salute. Cut 13.
You know, I want to thank longtime Tran for being with us tonight.
Do we know who Long Tan Tran is?
No.
Is there surely there's an explainer somewhere on the internet as to
all I came up with on the internet was Long Tall Sally. Right behind her was Susie Q.
There's also a story about a certain gentleman who was involved with the Anita Hill, Clarence Thomas hearings, but I won't even mention that one. Cut 15.
Because of you, we passed one of the most consequential rescue bills in American history. So what did you do? What did you do? Do. Cut 24. That's right. If we are to truly hear the soul of America,
I may need an extra page for my Herald column on Sunday, Taylor. This is just last night. This doesn't have anything to do with the manufacturing or the crime seams or any of that stuff. Anyway, 844-500-4242, 844-500-4242. That is
how you have a clearer version of all of these cuts, Howie?
Yes.
If you're listening to them on your Raycons.
I don't think this is a way to begin the Raycon spot to tell people they can listen. I think people want to hear these in a more muffled way. Let me put it this way. If you don't want to have to listen to Joe Biden delivering his address to Congress or his address at some drive-in movie theater where everybody's honking the horn and he loses his mask. If you want something else, if you want true crime podcasts, if you want to listen to some of your favorite old albums that you haven't listened to in a while, if you want to listen to anything other than the din of current events, just go and get yourself a nice pair of Raycon wireless earbuds. I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm always looking at a screen now more than ever, especially today after listening to all that. And whether you're an avid news watcher or in serious need of a distraction, which I am right now, and probably you are too after listening to that, unplugging yourself is easier said than done. One of my favorite ways to rest my eyes and still get the content I'm itching for, by putting in my Raycon wireless earbuds and listening to something great. Raycons are built to perform anywhere and anytime with water-resistant and sweat-resistant construction and Bluetooth that pairs quickly and seamlessly. And with enough battery life for 6 hours of playtime, you can unplug for a while. Raycons come in a range of stylish colorways with a comfortable in-ear fit with a more discreet look. That means no dangling wires out of your ears. The best part, Raycon makes great sound accessible to everyone with wireless earbuds starting at half the price of other premium audio brands. And again, you can listen to anything. With this podcast of what we were just playing will be up at around 7 o'clock tonight. You can listen to that. You can listen to anything, but you need your Raycons, and it's the best deal you can get on wireless earbuds. Raycon's offering 15% off all their products for my listeners, and here's all you've got to do to get it. Go to buyraycon.com/Howie. That's 15% off at buyraycon.com/Howie. Buyraycon.com/Howie. I'm Howie Carr.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
Cory Booker said it best.
There are definitely moments where you listen to Joe Biden and you just wonder.
Here's stumbling and mumbling Joe Biden.
David Duke, the former leader of the KKK.
The Ku Klux Klan is the Ku Klux Klan.
8 more years of Donald Trump will change America in a fundamental way. But if Donald Trump is reelected, Freudian slip, and the demagogues around the world.
We also have a mechanism to control drug prices. Folks at the folks at Health and the Health Department in the United States, HHS.
It would put 720 million women back in the workforce.
I never ever thought that I'd see what I saw in Charlotte.
Would you or would you not rejoin the TPP? Yes or no?
I would not rejoin the TTP. Well, they're going out and getting G5 and going to dominate. I mean, what are we doing? Bills that the future president here, that the senator's talking about.
Now's the perfect time to get a pair of premium wireless earbuds, and Raycon is the way to go. Raycon start at about half the price of other premium brands on the market, and they sound just as amazing. And Raycon's everyday E25 earbuds are their best model yet. You get 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a comfortable, noise-isolating fit. Perfect for conference calls, video chats, or binging podcasts. Raycon was founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Cardi B and J.R. Smith have already given Raycons their seal of approval. I love my Raycons, and Grace loves hers, too.
Howie, I love my Raycons. Best birthday gift ever.
I listen to much better music than she does, though.
Hey, that's not true.
Now it's your turn to see what the hype is all about. Go to buyraycon.com/Howie. That's buyraycon.com/Howie. Buyraycon.com/Howie.
Joe Biden accuses Trump of being a racist, but if you listen to Biden's comments, you would agree that he doth protest too much.
If you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
He's the first mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean.
And Madam President, we have predators on our streets.
That kid wearing a hoodie may very well be the next poet laureate and not a gangbanger.
They are beyond the pale, many of those people.
God love you. You've been here all day. My Lord, you may feel like you're being incarcerated.
We have no choice but to take them out of society.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
I think the two-party system is good for the South and good for the Negro.
They're going to put you all back in chains. Unlike the African American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things. If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black.
The trustees have a few suggestions they would like to submit to you.
I think you know what the trustees can do with that suggestion.
The Howie Carr Show is back.
Great to be back in Philly. Great to be back to 33rd Street Station.
33 Sheesh. I thought people in Philadelphia didn't really care all that much to have the city of brotherly love called Philly. You know, it's kind of like calling Boston the hub.
Or Beantown.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, call it Philadelphia. Philly. Lord. Forget grocery store crowds. Choose from over 25 chef-created recipes every week with HelloFresh. You'll get a box on your doorstep filled with fresh, pre-portioned ingredients that in as little as 20 minutes will become delicious meals. Get 12 free meals, including free shipping with code Howie12 at HelloFresh.com/Howie12. And Dr. Matt is coming in tonight at 6 o'clock to answer your questions about your pets. And on the Today Show today, the hard-hitting interview included probing questions about when the cat is arriving at the White House. I'm going to ask Dr. Matt if a cat should really be welcomed into a household that has a large, out-of-control dog like Major. And there's another question I'm going to ask him about, which is a headline on a Boston TV station today. Companies fined after illegally leasing dogs to families in Massachusetts. I never heard of such a thing. Leasing dogs? Can't you just go to a shelter and get a dog? I mean, I know there's a shortage since the panic, but I mean, you just get put on a waiting, lease a dog? Never heard of such a thing. Anyway, Taylor, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
I'm a cat guy myself. 25% say cats.
All right. 844-500-4242. So we got a lot of questions to ask Dr. Matt tonight before he arrives before we start taking calls. 844-500-4242. 508. Think about it. This meeting last night in Georgia. He is outside talking to cars and he is wearing a mask. We are doomed. Well, he took off the mask before he began talking to the cars. And then they began honking their horn. It's just crazy stuff. Didn't they try to arrest some preachers in Mississippi for holding church services in drive-in movie theaters last year? I believe they did. But now it's now it's a legitimate way for the president of the United States to address his constituents. Lisa, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Lisa.
Hey, Howie. First time, long time. I'm actually calling from Florida. I have a question because I didn't see it last night, but you said he wasn't wearing his mask during his speech or whatever he had?
Yes, he wasn't.
Was he coughing into the crook of his arm, or was he coughing into his hand, or was he just coughing into the microphone? For someone that's saying wear a mask, I didn't see it though.
I don't know. I just listened to it. Was he coughing into his hand or just sort of?
Yeah, he was mostly coughing into his hand.
People are also saying too that he didn't really find the mask in his pocket. All that was reported later by the press that actually some guy came up and handed Jill a new mask, and that's the one he used before he left.
There was a mask handoff, but he did find it in his pocket before the handoff was completed.
That was the last place he looked for it, though, his pocket. First he thought it was on the podium. Then he looked in the loose leaf binder where he had his notes, and then he just started looking all over for it. And that's when he said, "I'm in trouble."
I've not talked to any individual. Excuse me.
You know, you're supposed to cough into your elbow. I don't know, sir. I learned that actually covering your White House.
Actually, that's true. But fortunately, I'm alone in my home. But that's okay.
He's alone. Should Joe Biden really be allowed to be alone anywhere? Come on, man. I want to play this one where he invents a new department. Did you notice this, Taylor, that he invented a new department today?
I'm not sure which one you're referring to.
Cut 5.
Immigration was not one of the crises that demanded urgent action in January. Does it demand urgent action now? Is what's happening at the southern border, is it a crisis?
It is getting urgent action now. For example, a month ago, we had thousands of young kids in custody in places they shouldn't be and controlled by the Border Patrol. We have now cut that down dramatically. Here's what happened, Craig. The failure to have a real transition, the two departments that didn't give us access to virtually anything were the Immigration and the Defense Department. So we didn't find out they had fired a whole lot of people, that they were understaffed considerably.
The Immigration. Did you know that? Did you ever hear of that department before, Taylor?
The Immigration Department? I did.
No, he didn't. No, not the Immigration Department. The Immigration.
Oh, no, I haven't heard that.
The Immigration, yes. 8. We may have more of these cuts, depending on what happens in Philly. I'm Howie Carr.
There are two things for which New England is known: wicked awesome windows and doors, courtesy of Matthews Brothers, and the very patient Captain Dave Marciano, advocate for the ocean, displayer of tattoos, and all-around wicked awesome fisherman. And just like Matthews Brothers is a family business, so are the Marcianos. In fact, now that they've become America's favorite family, some people have started calling them the Ozzie and Harriet of the fisheries. So in order to give our listeners an opportunity to spend some quality time with a genuine New England B-list celebrity, Matthews Brothers has given away 6 trips for 2 people to go fishing with this legendary fishing family. You have to play to win, so just go to our website for all the details. No purchase is necessary, and no salespeople will call you except good old Ralph from Bangalore about your car's warranty, but obviously we at Matthews Brothers have no control over that, or we wouldn't get them too. Remember, you can learn more about our wicked awesome Maine-made windows and doors, but only at Better Lumber Yards and Window Professionals, or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. That's Matthews Brothers with 1 T, America's oldest window manufacturer. Tattoos option.
He's the gaff that keeps on giving. Here's 1 minute of former Vice President Joe Biden.
You teachers who touch them, figuratively speaking, well, I hope you touch them and tell them how much you love them too. But my point is, when you touch their hearts, I get in trouble with some things I say, but I want to tell you, just be straight up. If I'm your president, with me, it starts here in my gut, it goes to my heart, and then I articulate it. And by the way, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. 1.2 billion. So you go ahead and you stack spaghetti sauce at a store and in a supermarket. You control the guy or the woman who brings out the carts on a forklift. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap, and I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Hair loss is not one of life's more enjoyable experiences. If you're looking to fill in your hairline or reverse years of hair loss, DiStefano Hair Restoration will create a result that will be a transformative experience. The result of my IGT procedure was quite remarkable. I now have fuller, thicker hair, so I can even wear it a bit longer. There are a few major decisions I've made in my life that I wish I did sooner. My hair restoration is number 1. It was by far one of the best moves I've ever made. My hair looks awesome, and the confidence from having a full head of hair again has left me feeling great. I used to look in the mirror and dreaded seeing my ever-increasing bald spot. Now when I look in the mirror, I see the new me with a full head of thick hair. For information on how to make the same choice I did, go to hairman.com/Howie. What are you waiting for? More hair to fall out? Get the hair you've always wanted. Hairman.com/Howie.
He's the gaff that keeps on giving. Here's 1 minute of former Vice President Joe Biden.
You teachers who touch them, figuratively speaking, well, I hope you touch them and tell them how much you love them too. But my point is, when you touch their hearts, I get in trouble with some things I say, but I want to tell you, just be straight up. If I'm your president, with me, it starts here in my gut, it goes to my heart, and then I articulate it. And by the way, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. 1.2 billion. So you go ahead and you stack spaghetti sauce at a store in a supermarket. You control the guy or the woman who brings out the carts on a forklift. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Here's 1 minute with Governor
Charlie Parker in Massachusetts.
I'd certainly put myself on that list. I'm a basketball player. I always was. There's a lot at stake here. This is not a virus to be trifled with or disrespected. Respect the virus. I have a hard time understanding when we're going to be able to play basketball again. We can start talking about a gradual, careful, data-driven, phased reopening. Don't let a few nice days step on that. I need to talk to the Attorney General and find out what the actual parameters of the ruling are. Did this just happen? And the reason I read that story is because I'm a basketball player and I agree. I was first made aware of the discrepancy on this on the day that the registrar resigned. The vast majority, and I mean like the vast majority of the people who are part of these protests are there to make a point and to make it peacefully. That is so obvious, I'm amazed that anybody could say anything other than that. I would love to be able to open everything up tomorrow. That would be an incredibly irresponsible thing to do.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
844-500-4242. Looking at the New York Post website, they're leading with the story. I guess it's kind of a slow Friday spring afternoon. So they've gone back to, they're leading with the story about Biden frantic after forgetting he put mask in his pocket.
I mean, it is just, when you look at the picture they're using with it, Howie, it kind of makes sense. That definitely gets the clicks going.
Apparently, too, that one part of the event that we didn't mention is that Jill was also looking on the ground to see if it. So she's gonna pick it up off the ground and hand it to him because that's very sanitary.
She was picking up his binder and his folders and looking through. It reminded me of like when you lose something in school and your teacher tries to help you find it and all your stuff.
Yeah. Well, the frantic searching just coupled with the fact that everyone on that stage has been vaccinated and you just announced several days ago that you can be outside without a mask makes it really weird.
It was so weird. It was surreal and they just looked so incompetent and so like sloppy. And then today, Howie, there's a picture of him, at his Amtrak thing, whatever he's doing there. And he's got a blue baseball cap on, no mask, and he's fist bumping Amtrak officials. And I have to say, it's like they're monitoring, Jen Psaki calls it conservative Twitter. It's like they're just waiting to see what we say in the afternoon, and then they change up what they're doing. Like now he's out without a mask, which looks almost as silly because, to Taylor's point, yesterday he had a mask. And then the day before, he said he wasn't going to wear the mask. So it's like, just pick a lane, bro.
I took the late train back from Washington, and I slept through the Delaware stop, literally, not figuratively. I only did it about 4 times.
Why would we think that was figuratively?
I know.
Well, you can figuratively travel around the world in a high-speed plane.
I know.
My brain is going.
If you travel enough, if you're a commuter on a train long enough, eventually you're going to sleep through the stop. Okay. I mean, I did it. I did it once. I woke up in Fitchburg. It was bad. That just only once, but I could see that happening. Why don't we play the cut of him? He's being asked by the guy on the Today Show, why he keeps wearing a mask while he's vaccinated. And I mean, I can't really I can't transcribe this because it would go on too long, but his answer makes absolutely no sense. It's cut number 3.
CDC guidance this week about outdoor mask wearing. A lot of folks excited that they can now shed these masks if they've been double vaccinated. Are you going to be one of these folks now? We no longer going to see the president of the United States outside with a mask on?
Sure. I mean, but what I'm going to do, though, because the likelihood of my being able to be outside and people not come up to me is not very, very high. So it's like, look, you and I took our masks off when I came in because look at the distance we are. But if we were, in fact, sitting there talking to one another close, I'd have my mask on and I bet you'd have a mask, even though we've both been vaccinated. And so it's a small precaution to take that has a profound impact. It's a patriotic responsibility, for God's sake. It's making sure that your wife, your children, if in fact they haven't been vaccinated, making sure that they're not going to get sick.
What the hell is he talking about?
Who has more credibility, Joe Biden or Bill Nye the Science Guy?
I'm going Bill Nye. I mean, he sounds like the teachers in Charlie Brown when they go wah 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 wah. It's like, what are you saying? Are you saying anything? If I have one on and you have one on, and then we both have one on.
It's a very small thing, but it's profound. Okay,
It's sad. You know what, Howie? Molly Hemingway had said this earlier, and I think it's absolutely true. They keep saying, well, it sends a message. It definitely does send a message. The message has been sent. It's just not the message they think they're sending.
Right.
They're sending a message that they're insane.
I agree.
And now they're backtracking, Howie. I don't know if you saw this. Obviously, what's happening in India right now is really terrible. I mean, their hospitals are totally overwhelmed. But Biden is putting a ban on travel from India. Now, keep in mind...
I thought that was racist. Wasn't that racist when Donald Trump did it to China?
When Donald Trump did it, it wasn't racist.
It was nativist.
It was xenophobic.
It was nativist, xenophobic, and it was racist. It was the triple crown.
And he said, walls won't stop this virus. And now he's banning travel. And I think Jared told me earlier that Ron Klain said it's not a ban, it's a Band-Aid. Like I said, it's the destruction of words. Nothing means anything anymore.
It's not a pandemic, it's a panic.
It's double speak. It's not double speak.
You can't have
to have a president and an administration who will work with you and support you in these efforts. Not try to scapegoat your communities or advance xenophobic political agenda.
Was that today?
No, that was months and months ago.
Okay. By the way, here's Biden's introduction last night when he arrives in the state of Georgia. Cut 11.
Hello, Georgia, and the other county back there.
Georgia does have a lot of counties, by the way. I think they have more counties than any other state in the
hello
union.
to the whole state. You don't have to include the other county.
Especially when there's like 160 or 180 counties, right? Yeah, you're right. Why do you want to single out one county?
I have to say, this entire administration, I know we're only at 100 days, but it does, you know what? It does feel like dog years. Mm-hmm. I feel like we've been watching this for 1,000 years. They're an optics disaster.
Great. So I just got to keep playing these cuts because we got a lot of stuff tied up today.
Howie, I would be upset if you did not play these cuts.
Okay. Now, can you think about this as you listen to this cut? Imagine if Donald Trump were to say something like this, the hue and the cry and the din from the mainstream media. Cut 7.
During the campaign, you pledged to reunite hundreds of children who have been separated from their parents by the previous administration. According to our reporting, in your first 100 days, not one child's been reunited.
I don't think that.
How is that?
I don't think that's true, but that could be. What we have done is we have united children with their families as they've come across the border. But one of the things is we don't know yet where those kids are. We're trying like hell to figure out what happened. It's almost like being a sleuth, and we're still continuing to try like hell to find out where they are.
That sounded like a little toot came out.
It did. I heard a little toot.
I know that wasn't the point of the clip, Howie.
Where those kids are. And we're trying like hell to figure out what happened. It's almost like being a sleuth, and we're still continuing to try like hell to find out where they are.
I feel like a sleuth trying to figure out who farted.
Yeah, but Trump admits they've lost kids. Unaccompanied minors go missing under racist, nativist administration. Orange man bad. But there's no fact checker anymore at the Washington Post for Joe Biden because he was ad-libbing, and that's when he flubs. You know, when you look at his prepared
I love that. Daniel Dale said when he does the number stuff, he really kind of messes up. I'm like, the number stuff.
What else have we got here, Grace?
Well, I definitely want to keep playing these, but Howie, I just have to say, the Craig Melvin of it all, I mean, I'm impressed he asked him that question in the last cut, but you can hear it in his voice. He doesn't want to. He's like so sad about that. Our reporting shows that actually you haven't reunited any kids. It's like they don't want to ask these questions. They feel bad. They want to ask him about Major.
Yeah.
And the cat.
I know. There were multiple questions about the pets today on the Today Show.
It's crazy. All right. So should we keep going with the cuts, Howie?
Yeah. I mean, well, if you got anything else you want to get into, feel free.
There's a big story out of Houston right now. Houston police uncovered disturbing human smuggling case with more than 90 people trapped in a home. A lot of them have COVID. Houston police uncovered dozens of people trapped in a home this afternoon after a reported kidnapping call. They received tips Thursday that prompted an all-night investigation that eventually led investigators to the home on Friday. When we got into the house, we realized that there were over 90 people inside, one of the SWAT team members said. It's a human smuggling case. It's a pretty crazy story. Multiple people inside reported possible coronavirus symptoms, including fevers and loss of sense and smell.
But it's not really a problem, Grace. You understand that? Cut 6.
But in April alone, Mr. President, 170,000 people, migrants, apprehended at the border. It's a 20-year record. There are 22,000 unaccompanied children in our country right now. That's a record. That sounds to most folks like a crisis.
Well, look, it's way down now. We've now gotten control.
Grace, if you go back to Tuesday, there were 150 illegal aliens in that house in Harris County, Texas.
It's way down now.
It's way down. It's under control.
But that's the part of it that kind of blows my mind is that, like, remember when it was Trump, they fact checked everything and everything he said. They would go into the minuscule little jokes he would make and break them down and fact check them. And then all Joe Biden has to say to a factual question about an actual number is it's way down now.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, okay, I feel better.
Well, you know, when he said last night he was being heckled by the illegal aliens in Georgia and, they abolish ICE and all this stuff. And he said, just give me 5 days or something to that effect. And then today he was asked about that. And he says, I was just teasing. Was Donald Trump ever allowed to say he was just teasing, like when he asked Russia to release all of Hillary Clinton's emails that she tried to destroy to avoid a subpoena?
The difference is that Donald Trump's jokes were funny. I didn't even understand what the teasing is. Just give me 5 days. People on Twitter were like, what's happening in 5 days? We're scared. By the way, Grace's News is brought to you by Toyota of Portsmouth, the house of value. I love my new RAV4 XLE. I just got it clean last weekend. And I love the process of leasing it because everyone at Toyota of Portsmouth is wonderful. They have a huge, sparkling, clean showroom and an incredible staff. So make sure you get yourselves there. They're located just south of the Portsmouth traffic circle off of 95. Go to toyotaofportsmouth.com or visit them at the showroom and tell them Grace sent you. If you don't mind, Howie,
yes,
I would like to play one more. I know you've already played it, but I think it's going to be a fan favorite. Taylor, can I play the cut where Biden mentions beans?
But the beans, how did most of the middle class folks who are Caucasian or white, how'd they make it?
Beans, the wonderful fruit. I think Joe Biden let out a toot.
Incidentally, they're asking on the text line, was Johnny Crawford from Rifleman in the death pool? The death pool is not currently ongoing. When I get back to Boston next week, we'll have another death pool coming up. You don't even know who Johnny Crawford is, do you, Grace?
I have no idea.
He was the son of the Rifleman himself, the guy who played for the Red Sox and for the Boston Celtics, Chuck Connors, and it's Johnny Crawford. He had a couple of top 40, or at least one top 40 hits, and I will give you, and he was a Mouseketeer too. He died at the age of 75. And here's his most famous line from The Rifleman. Pa! 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 He was nominated for an Emmy for in 1959. Pa!
Wow. Any relation to Jim Eagle?
I don't know. I don't think so. It was a good show, though. It was a good show.
Well, Howie, I am out of here, but I will be back for Police Blotter Facts Friday. And just a small tease, if I may. I don't know if it's the warmer weather or what, but we have a lot of really great police blotters. 90% of them are actually from Howie Carr. He's been sending them nonstop this week, but they're very, very good. So make sure you guys tune in.
But you can send them yourself. If you've got one, send it. It's not too late to get in for this week's Police Blotter Facts Friday. Grace at HowieCarrShow.com.
Yes. And if I get one from Howie and one from a listener, I still give the listener the prize, even though Howie might have sent it in before you.
All right. 844-500-4242. Why buy gold? Are you watching what is happening in the world today? Global pandemic, U.S. debt piling up, spiking inflation, and the looming Biden tax plan. In the 2008 financial crisis, many Americans lost a large portion of their retirement savings. So what are you doing now to protect your money? Well, many turned to Goldco, the leading gold IRA company in the U.S. and four-time Inc. 500 winning company. With an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of five-star customer reviews, you can trust the team at Goldco to help you protect and grow your wealth. Go to goldco.com/Howie Carr to request your free IRA guide that uncovers the secret that financial advisors won't tell you. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay and fall victim to another stock market crash, inflation hike, or dollar decline. Visit goldco.com/Howie Carr, goldco.com/Howie Carr to get your free IRA guide today. If you visit goldco.com/Howie Carr now, Goldco will give you up to $10,000 in free silver when you open a qualifying account. That's right, up to $10,000 in free silver. I'm Howie Carr.
He doesn't do this just for the money.
It's also my pleasure to see to it that decent, hard-working people in this community aren't robbed blind by a pack of money-mad pirates just because they haven't anybody to look after their interests.
Howie Carr. We'll be right back.
This hour of the Howie Carr Show is brought to you in part by Old New England Soap. Old New England Soap makes the best Woodwick soy candles as well as goat milk soaps, bath bombs, and now offering gift sets for Mother's Day and any other occasion. Go to oldnewenglandsoap.com.
What deal can we have, Crazy Nancy?
The Constitution does not say that a person can shout wolf in a crowded theater.
But to be clear, you're not taking any arrows out of your quiver. You're not ruling anything out.
Good morning. Sunday morning. Chocolate candy, chocolate, and then we have some other chocolate here. Consistently practice social distancing.
Why does AOC complain that you have not been grooming younger people for leadership?
I don't know. You'll have to ask her.
That was kind of sharp.
I'm not a big needle taker. I mean, I had a hard time getting my ears pierced. I'm not a big needle taker. I mean,
Mother Earth is angry. She's telling us.
What do you think is causing this erratic behavior?
I think that the president has always had erratic behavior. I have ice cream in my freezer. I guess that's better than having Lysol in somebody's lungs.
civilization as we know it is at stake.
I don't drink, but I'm happy to have ice cream with anybody anytime.
You've been hearing me talk about Super Beets for a while now, and I'm sure some of you are still thinking, why Super Beets? You could take it from me. The benefits of Super Beets are incredible. I take them twice a day, once in the morning when I get up, even before I have my first cup of coffee, and the other time in the afternoon, right before the show. It gives me a burst of energy. It's great for my blood pressure. It's good for circulation. It just makes you feel better. If that doesn't convince you, we can talk about the science behind Super Beets. Beets have nitrates. Nitrates support better blood flow, and better blood flow equals better energy and efficiency throughout the body, and even supports healthy blood pressure. But Super Beets does so much more than eating regular beets and is unparalleled compared to other beet powders. Just one scoop of Super Beets has the nitric oxide equivalent of 3 whole beets. Go to superbeetsradio.com/Howie and try out Super Beets yourself. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie.
Watch out, Joe Biden. You might have to share some of the spotlight because your running mate, Senator Kamala Harris, is certainly grabbing some attention for her own gaffes.
She was part of our culture. Yes, we wear those notorious B.I.G. t-shirts with a lot of pride.
Best rapper alive, Tupac. He's not alive. You say he lives on.
Not alive. I know. I keep doing that. A Harris administration together with Joe Biden as the president of the United States. The Biden-Harris administration. We have got to, in America, reimagine how we are accomplishing public safety. And let's be clear, there is no vaccine for racism.
Let's just say there's a vaccine that is approved and even distributed before the election. Would you get it?
Well, I think that's going to be an issue for all of us. I will say that I would not trust Donald Trump.
Got hate mail?
You bloated idiot! You stupid fat you!
Send it to Grace at HowieCarrshow.com.
Jay from Chelsea informs me Chuck Connors didn't play for the Red Sox. He played for the Chicago Cubs. He must have been a first baseman because he was a left-hander, because he couldn't have played anywhere else in the infield, I don't think. But he did play for the Celtics. He was not a starter, I don't think, but he played for a couple of years. And somebody else says 508 branded was better than the Rifleman. That was the second series that Chuck Connors had. Branded didn't last long, but it had a great song. Branded, scorned as the one who ran. What do you do when you're branded and you know you're a man? See, he was supposedly a guy who'd run away from a massacre at a place called Bitter Creek. It was a good song. The song was better than the show, actually, now that I think about it. Mike, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Mike.
Thanks for taking my call, Howie. Just a quick comment. Let's not forget that Biden is the guy who said that he was running for the Senate. What does this say for his voters? The people who clap every time he speaks. I mentioned this to Grace earlier today, and I said, if Almighty God appeared to Sniffer Joe, and the first words out of his mouth, I think, would be, "Hey, man, where's your mask?"
He also said he served in the House, Mike, which he'd never served in. And he said that didn't he say he had appointed the first black woman to the Senate? I mean, he was never the governor of anywhere. Let's play he's talking about this systemic racism. Somebody found a cut today of from 2006, and he was talking to Chris Wallace, and this is amazing that what he's bragging about here. Cut 36.
30 seconds or less. What kind of a chance would a northeastern liberal like Joe Biden stand in the South if you were running in Democratic primaries against Southerners like Mark Warner and John Edwards?
Better than anybody else. And you don't know my state. My state was a slave state. My state is a border state. My state is the 8th largest black population in the country. My state is anything from a northeast liberal state.
My state was a slave state. Have you ever heard anyone brag? I mean, I don't care, going way back. Let's Strom Thurmond, when he was a Democrat and then he was a Dixiecrat before he became a Republican. Did Strom Thurmond, you ever hear him bragging about it? My state was a slave state? I don't think so. Kind of weird. You could see why you don't hear that sound cut very often on, I don't know, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, CBS, BBC, CBC. I'm Howie Carr.
The Kathy Ireland Gem Spa was one of the hottest selling gifts this holiday season. This Mother's Day, give a gift that will provide a lifetime of sparkling, clean jewelry. I use mine every week and my jewelry looks amazing. So join the clean jewelry revolution. Get yours now. Go to mygemspa.com, use promo code GRACE and save $10. Plus, get free shipping. That's mygemspa.com, promo code GRACE and get $10 off, plus free shipping. All moms love turtles, especially when they're Phillips chocolate turtles. Made with rich, smooth caramel, hand-roasted pecans, cashews, or almonds, then topped with a generous dollop of mouth-watering milk or dark chocolate. A tried and true Mother's Day tradition since 1925, and now you can order Phillips chocolate online just in time for Mother's Day. Go to phillipschocolate.com. Use code GRACE and receive 10% off, or visit the store at 818 Morrissey Boulevard in Dorchester. Go to phillipschocolate.com and use code GRACE.
What impact do you think Russian interference had in the election?
I think it was one of the major contributors to the outcome.
Years from the 2016 election, and Hillary Clinton still can't accept the results. Take a listen.
You know, you can run the best campaign. You can be the person who gets the nomination. You could lose. I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president. He knows.
The one thing that Trump is fearful of when it comes to his being president is that finally we will see how illegitimate his victory actually was.
This wasn't on the level. Flashing videos that appear and then disappear, and they're on the dark web and nobody can find them. It's like applying for a job and getting 66 million letters of recommendation and losing to a corrupt human tornado. So maybe there does need to be a rematch. I mean, obviously, I can beat him again. So, of course, he's obsessed with me.
Here's 1 minute of Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
There's a lot of restaurants that are feeling the pain of racism, where people are literally not patroning Chinese restaurants. They're not patroning Asian restaurants because of just straight up racism around the coronavirus.
So, only in America does when the president tweets about liberation, does he mean go back to work? When we, have this discussion about going back or reopening, I think a lot of people should just say, no, we're not going back to that.
I know it sounds banal. Do we know how long puppies are allowed to stay with their mothers after a dog has given birth?
I don't.
8 weeks. So the market has decided that women and people who give birth deserve less time with their children than a dog.
So the whole premise of the Green New Deal is that we're screwed.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
Everyone knows I love coffee and I'm not giving it up. I know that it would keep me up from time to time, but no longer with Balance 7. Balance 7 is a clear mineral liquid that you take 3 times a day to break down the acid in your body. When it does this, you'll feel better, and I sleep better. Often I'm asked to try products, and I can be very skeptical on their claims. But with Balance 7, it was all 100% true. With Balance 7, I didn't feel my energy starting to flag as the day wore on, because by sleeping better at night, it also gave me mental clarity during the day. Balance 7 is a highly alkalizing concentrate. That means it reduces the acids that have built up in your body. Balance 7 is also known for reducing acid reflux and heartburn, as it did for the mailroom manager. Balance 7 is made of safe, all-natural ingredients. If you suffer from heartburn, acid reflux, or sleep issues, you should give Balance 7 a try. Order the 8-ounce 12-pack supply at balance7.com. Put in code word Howie. You will save $10 and you'll also get free shipping. Balance7.com.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not generally speaking unruly.
That ain't a riot, what we're seeing right now in Minneapolis. They are strictly principled anti-fascists.
No organization is perfect. There was some violence.
Any reasonable person would say we shouldn't be destroying other people's property, but these are not reasonable times.
I argue to you tonight, all punches are not equal morally.
But thank goodness for the looters, man.
And please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do not get it twisted and think that, this is something that has never happened before, and then this is so terrible, and where are we, and these savages and all of that. This is how this country was started.
People get mad, and people get sick of it. People are risking COVID to explain to this country that we're fed up.
needs to know about Howie. Howie is sort of an insidious force in this area. His show is listened to mostly angry white males. Racism is a key factor in your show on a constant basis. You are a good entertainer, Howard, and hats off to you for that. You have the highest ratings. People listen to you, but your show brings down the level of debate. You are an intellectual lightweight, and you're racist.
I deal with the issues of the day. I'm number one with men. I'm number one with women. I have good demographics. I have the highest ratings of anybody in Boston Talk. I'm trying to put on a good show, and I'm a conservative. I admit that.
You know, I hate to be in a position to defend Howie Carr. I will probably rue this day for the rest of my existence. It's not just angry white men. I'm not that angry. I should say I am a white man. I am the only liberal who admits I listen to Howie Carr.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not generally speaking unruly.
That ain't a riot, what we're seeing right now in Minneapolis. They are strictly principled anti-fascists.
No organization is perfect. There was some violence.
Any reasonable person would say we shouldn't be destroying other people's property, but these are not reasonable times.
I argue to you tonight, all punches are not equal morally.
But thank goodness for the looters, man.
And please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do not get it twisted and think that, this is something that has never happened before, and then this is so terrible, and where are we, and these savages and all of that. This is how this country was started.
People get mad and people get sick of it. People are risking COVID to explain to this country that we're fed up.
Now's the perfect time to get a pair of premium wireless earbuds, and Raycon is the way to go. Raycon start at about half the price of other premium brands on the market, and they sound just as amazing. And Raycon's everyday E25 earbuds are their best model yet. You get 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a comfortable, noise-isolating fit. Perfect for conference calls, video chats, or binging podcasts. Raycon was founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Cardi B and J.R. Smith have already given Raycons their seal of approval. I love my Raycons, and Grace loves hers, too.
Howie, I love my Raycons. Best birthday gift ever.
I listen to much better music than she does, though.
Hey, that's not true.
Now it's your turn to see what the hype is all about. Go to buyraycon.com/Howie. That's buyraycon.com/Howie. buyraycon.com/Howie.
What does the mainstream media really think of you? Banjos, please.
Bigots and racists. Credulous, rude, tin-toothed, working class, angry, white.
Aging, angry, white guys.
Angry white man.
Angry white old men.
These angry white men.
The angry white vote. All these angry white people. Too many of them want to see the people who are begging for change put down.
Racist, bigoted base.
It's white privilege, it's white nationalism, it's anger, it's rage, it's incel.
We tolerate a certain level of racism.
1 in 3 Americans are racist. The credulous boomer rube demo. Y'all elitists are dumb.
You elitists with your geography and your maps and your spelling.
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
They weren't taking the 3 hard drives, which of course are electronic devices. I said, well, don't you want these? And they said, what are they? I said, those are Hunter Biden's hard drives. And they said, no. I said, are you sure you don't want them? I mean, the warrant required them to take it.
Listen, if you are feeling uncomfortable about this at all, do not feel like you have to take it.
Why?
If you're having second thoughts, if you didn't want it, don't worry about it because, I could take it.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
I want it opened up on Monday. I want to open up New York City Tuesday. I want to open it up Wednesday. I want Buffalo fully opened on Thursday.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
844-500-4242. So we have more Biden cuts. Today, apparently, in the early going anyway, is going to be all Biden all the time. We'll get to more calls. I want to get to some of this Rudy Giuliani interview with Tucker Carlson last night as well. It's pretty interesting stuff that he was saying, and again confirming the abject corruption of the Department of Justice and the FBI. But first, I think we have to deal with more Joe Biden, because this is comic gold. And he was at Amtrak station in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. And I think it's safe to say he derailed several times at the Amtrak station.
Ha, 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 ha.
Yeah. Would you like to introduce some of these, Taylor, or should
I didn't? I've not had a chance to really listen to them, so we're going to find out together.
We played a couple of them when he talked about sleeping through the Delaware stop, and again, I don't hold that against him, having done that once myself, just once, not 4 or 5 times. But then I guess I just never worked as hard as Joe Biden. So let's. So he was having a problem with flatulence in one of in the interview that he did with the Today Show, and now it looks like his dentures slipped when he was talking about. Well, listen to it. Cut 60.
If you shut down all passenger service on Amtrak's Northeast Corridor,
Okay, now here's a story about Barack Obama and allowing him to basically run Amtrak. And this is a story that, again, goes off the rails, kind of like that train going over the bridge over the River Kwai. It falls into the gorge at some point. Cut 61.
When I was vice president with Barack, he allowed me to put together a budget for Amtrak, and it had money for high-speed rail at 200 miles an hour from Charlotte, another line going from in Florida down to Tampa, another line. If we had moved, Gov, we'd have that tunnel fixed in New York now. The money was there to get it done.
From Florida down to Tampa and Charlotte. Okay. All right.
We had the tunnel in New York fixed,
Which tunnel would that be? There are a lot of tunnels.
The one between North Carolina and Florida.
Yeah. The one from Florida down to Tampa. Okay. All right. And riding that train high on cocaine, as his son likes to say, quoting Jerry Garcia and the Grateful Dead. Okay, so let's have another rambling story about the trains. Cut 58.
I literally every single day that I was in the United States Senate got either the 728, it became the 732, and got home on. If I got lucky, I got the Metro that left. The last one left at 6, or I got the 7:30 coming home.
I thought it was 7:28 or 7:32. Now it's 7:30. Literally. Okay. Now we have the mileage. We're back to Air Force One. We're back to airplanes. And as we know, he has a problem with airplanes. He's still talking about the plane that's going to go 21,000 miles an hour. Cut 56.
I guess my 4th or 5th year as vice president, saying Biden travels 1,300,000 miles on Air Force One.
1,300,000. Is that what he said? Let's hear that one again.
I guess my 4th or 5th year as vice president, saying Biden travels 1,300,000 miles on Air Force One.
Okay. Cut 53.
And Donald Payne, New Jersey. I keep telling Donald, because Delaware is so small, it is a constitutional, there was a case in the Supreme Court. Delaware, the state of, owns the Delaware River up to the high water mark of New Jersey. Just want you to know that. You got to treat us with more respect.
Does anyone have any translation for what the hell he was talking about? I think I can transcribe that one into the column. Then we have the case. One of his dear friends, because he's a humble man. He can relate to those who are below his august social station. So he got to be friends with the conductors, even though he was a really brilliant U.S. senator. So here he is talking about.
Is it true Roger Miller wrote King of the Road after Joe Biden?
Rooms to let, 50 cents.
Every engineer and every train, all of their children and all of their names.
So here he is with Angelo, cut 57.
And I was getting on the train, and Angelo Negri came up to me and goes, "Joey, baby." And he grabbed my cheek, started to squeeze it like he always did. And I thought he was going to get shot. I'm serious. And I said, no, he's a friend. He said, "Joey, what's the big deal? 1,200,000, 300,000 miles on Air Force Two. You know how many miles you travel on Amtrak?"
I thought he was riding on Air Force One. Now he's changed the story again. And it's a rather insulting Italian accent too, isn't it? Or just a poor Italian accent. But
hey, what's the matter for you? Talk about Air Force Two. You ride on the train. What's the matter? Forget about it.
Oh my goodness. Then there's the story of Amtrak, his daughter. This one kind of runs on, but you can see where you can imagine. Cut 59.
I remember one night, my daughter was only 6 years old, and it was my birthday. And we were voting. And I went to Bob Dole, and I said, "Bob, when's the next vote going to take place?" He said, "Why?" I said, "Well, my daughter is really upset. I'm not going to be able to be home for the birthday cake she made for me." He said, "What do you need?" I said, "I need just time to catch the 5 o'clock metro, and I can get the 6:28 coming back. Because in the platform, in Delaware, you walk from one side to the other." Got off the train. My wife, Jill, was standing there. My daughter had the cake, with the candle lit. I blew them out, gave me a kiss, walked across, and got on the southbound. So it has been part of my life. I've been riding an Amtrak for almost as long as there's been an Amtrak.
I was a young man when that story began. Now we're at, now he wants to talk about what station he's at. Cut 52.
Great to be back in Philly. Great to be back to 33 station.
33. One more cut here, and then we'll move on. Cut 54.
You know, folks, the fact is that if I have, in the past, when I've ended up at the 30th Street station, Amtrak station.
The 33th station. The 33th station. All right. Okay. So we're going to take some calls when we come back. 844-500-4242. And
in a world of electric trains, Joe Biden is still running on coal.
Yeah, he hasn't even gotten up to steam, I don't think. All right. 844-500-4242. We've been telling you for a while now about Super Beats heart chews, and a lot of you have tried them and made them part of your daily routine. They're great for your heart health, blood pressure, and circulation. Wrapped in foil like candy, they can you can just take them twice a day whenever you want or need a boost in energy. Now Super Beats has another great new product you're going to like just as much as heart chews. They're called Super Beats Memory and Focus Chews. If you've ever wanted to do something for your brain health, you'll want to try them. Super Beats Memory and Focus Chews. They promote blood flow and support overall cognitive health. Research has shown that by promoting blood flow, you can support cardiovascular and cognitive health. Combining clinically studied fermented resveratrol with a patented coffee fruit extract, Super Beats Memory and Focus promotes brain blood flow, supports memory, alertness, and helps support reduced perceptions of mental fatigue. Super Beats Memory and Focus supports brain health in 2 ways by promoting blood flow and supporting healthy levels of BNDF. And these Super Beats Memory and Focus Chews are good tasting. They have a blueberry taste. Healthy levels of BNDF, a key neuroprotein, supports overall brain health as we all age. Like other Super Beats products, Super Beats Memory and Focus was crafted under careful guidance of science and features clinically studied key ingredients. Support your brain health and your cognitive performance today with Super Beats Memory and Focus. Take advantage of this limited time introductory offer today. You get a free 30-day supply of new Super Beats Memory and Focus with your purchase of Super Beats Heart Chews. Get yours now at superbeatsradio.com/Howie. That's superbeatsradio.com/Howie. I'm Howie Carr.
Want more Howie? Click the Howie Cam on HowieCarrShow.com.
Here, take one. This hour of the Howie Carr Show is brought to you in part by Tropical Concepts for all of your landscaping needs from Plymouth to Provincetown. Go to tropicalconcepts.design or call 508-247-7051. That's tropicalconcepts.design.
Here are some rapid fire questions with Taylor Cormier. What would you eat for your last meal on Earth?
I'm fond of old favorites, childhood favorites. I'd go with my mother's beef and bean pie, followed by, for dessert, my grandmother's recipe for oatmeal cookies and a big glass of milk.
Where is your favorite place to vacation?
Home. I like being home. I like my house. I know where everything is. Yeah, I just like being home.
Favorite Frank Sinatra song to listen to?
It's called Without a Song, and it's on the album I Remember Tommy. It's a tribute to Tommy Dorsey, and it's a very swinging remake of the original orchestration.
Favorite Frank Sinatra song to sing?
My favorite one to sing is One for My Baby and One for the Road. It's a very sad song, but it's somebody coming to the realization that this is the way life is, and they've come to terms with it. And I think it's something that everybody can connect to. It's a great equalizer for everybody in the room.
Hair loss is not one of life's more enjoyable experiences. If you're looking to fill in your hairline or reverse years of hair loss, DiStefano Hair Restoration will create a result that will be a transformative experience. The result of my IGT procedure was quite remarkable. I now have fuller, thicker hair so I can even wear it a bit longer. There are a few major decisions I've made in my life that I wish I did sooner. My hair restoration is number one. It was by far one of the best moves I've ever made. My hair looks awesome, and the confidence from having a full head of hair again has left me feeling great. I used to look in the mirror and dreaded seeing my ever-increasing bald spot. Now when I look in the mirror, I see the new me with a full head of thick hair. For information on how to make the same choice I did, go to hairman.com/Howie. What are you waiting for? More hair to fall out? Get the hair you've always wanted. Hairman.com/Howie.
President Trump is clearly ethically unfit and intellectually unprepared to be the president of the United States. And I support Chairwoman. In the coming weeks, the House will hold hearings. Congresswoman Harris, Congressman Senator Harris. He's our president, and I would rather he not be taking something that has not been approved, especially in his age group and in his, shall we say, weight group, what is morbidly obese, they say. So completely inappropriate in so many ways that it's almost a given. It's like a child who comes in with mud on their pants or something. That's the way it is. They're outside playing. That's what it. He comes in with doggy doo on his shoes, and everybody who works with him has that on their shoes too. But I only will do that if you tell me that this legislation is worthy of George Kirby's name. This moment of national anguish.
all be quiet and peaceable and have a few beers together and listen to the music and not make any wrong moves.
Howie Carr is back.
Who's to let 50 cents? No phone, no pool, no pets. Ain't got no cigarettes, but
He's a lot like Charlie on the MTA. He got a birthday cake when he stepped off the train. Charlie got a sandwich at the Park Street station or somewhere like that. And incidentally, most train stations I've ever been in, there was a way to get from one platform to the other platform. It's not like this is a unique thing in the Wilmington, Delaware Amtrak. But what do I know? I was never in charge of making sure that Amtrak was extended from Florida down to Tampa. Forget grocery store crowds. Choose from over 25 chef-created recipes every week with HelloFresh. You'll get a box on your doorstep filled with fresh, pre-portioned ingredients that in as little as 20 minutes will become delicious meals. Get 12 free meals, including free shipping with code Howie12 at HelloFresh.com/Howie12. HelloFresh.com/Howie12. Taylor, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
The cat people are coming out in droves, Howie. 29% now say cats.
That's still a big lead for the doggies. Baxter, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Baxter.
How you doing, Howie?
Good.
So, just wanted to give you my quick brush with John Forbes Carey back in the day.
Yeah.
So went down to Newport for the day when he was Secretary of State, and we're down there just day tripping, and we were looking. Tried to find his boat that he was hiding down there, so he wouldn't have to pay taxes up in Martha's Vineyard.
Right. No. Yeah. Well, it was in Nantucket at the time, but yeah, same difference. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So I couldn't find his boat, but we're coming home on 90, and we're on 95, and I'm not exactly sure where it was, but we're in Massachusetts, and all of a sudden these three state troopers come up and they get in front of me, and they start a rolling road stop on 95, and I don't know what exit it was, but like literally they stopped 95 north, 3 cruisers, and then they did it on the other side, and I'm like, man, what's going on here? Did a train derail? Is there poisonous gas up ahead? So we sat there for like 10 minutes, and people just got out of their cars because, I mean, the traffic was completely stopped. So I went up to the trooper, and I go, "Trooper, you know, what's going on? Is this something we need to know about?" He goes, "No." He says, "John Kerry's got to go to the airport."
Oh my God.
So he went across the overpass. There was 3 black Suburbans.
Yeah.
He went across the overpass, and he never even turned onto the highway. They just didn't want cars coming up on the ramp so they could go through.
Right.
And I'm like, have you got?
I mean, this is I know this is why he wants to be the climate czar. Because I don't think he's getting that same kind of kid gloves treatment, like he's a big shot and he's in the line of succession to the presidency, because he isn't. But he revels in that kind of stuff. I remember being forced to the side of Storrow Drive when Al Gore was the vice president. He was coming back for his 25th anniversary at Harvard University, and I'm just sitting there for Al Gore. I remember that in a snowstorm in the 1970s, they stopped traffic on the expressway on a Friday night. You know why? Because the vice president, Fritz Mondale, who just died, he had spoken to the bow-tied bum kissers at the Boston Globe and had to get back to Logan Airport. So the snow was coming down at like an inch every half hour, really coming down hard, and they've got everybody pulled over. They just want to get home because of him. I got caught if you're in the right place or the wrong place, usually metropolitan areas, you're going to get caught all the time in this kind of crap. I got caught in the Hillary Clinton traffic jam once in New York on my way to Shea Stadium. I don't know which was the most obnoxious, everyone is terrible. Thanks for the call, Baxter. John, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, John.
Hey, good Friday to you. I think we're going to need a translator here for the next 100 days. 80 million people voted for this guy, but only 20 million watched last night.
I know. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? I mean, where did those 60 million people go? And the original number was 11 million. And then the votes just kept coming in, just like election night, But the most they could get him up to was a little over 20 million. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, those voters got shredded. The other thing, did I hear right that the AG of Massachusetts wants all public works people to be vaccinated mandatory? That's on your hearing too?
I hadn't heard that it was her. I mean, there are a lot of these Democrats now are talking around the country are talking about mandatory vaccinations for public workers. I didn't know that Mara Healey had joined the crowd, but again, there's a lot of that going around. I don't know. Oh, I didn't. I think Biden was asked about that on the Today Show, whether he was going to require all the U.S. military personnel to get vaccinations, and he said he was thinking about it, I believe. So stand by for more on that. Rick, thanks for the call. Rick, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Rick.
No time.
No time. Okay, we'll take some more calls when we come back, and I'll go over some of this Rudy Giuliani, his defense. I think he's being persecuted, shall we say? And, they keep saying, oh, Donald Trump's never coming back. Well, if he's never coming back and you're not afraid of him, why are you going after his personal lawyer? 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr. It's a new year and time for a new you. DiStefano Hair Restoration changed my life, and they can change yours too. My production director said when he saw a recent pic of me that, you look great, like Benjamin Button. You're getting younger. That's quite the compliment, and I owe it to DiStefano Hair Restoration and Dr. Chris Hines. Many wait years before they get the hair restoration they deserve. Stop waiting and just get it done. You won't regret it, and you'll ask yourself, why did you wait so long? You can see my before and after photo shoot on their site at hairman.com. Hairman.com. DiStefano Hair Restoration is taking all the necessary precautions to keep you safe during your visit. They also offer virtual consultations. Go to hairman.com today and schedule your free consultation and get the hair you deserve and have always wanted. Dr. Hines took care of me and he'll take care of you too. Visit them today at hairman.com. So, Taylor, will you send me those cuts, those new cuts?
Just did.
Thank you.
Who stole Christmas, the guy who stole New Year's, the guy who stole every holiday you can think of. But I'm here today to say that we really can't have them be the kind of consequential event that Thanksgiving has been here in Massachusetts. Next year, we'll probably be able to celebrate those holidays just like we used to, but not this year. Following the rules and sticking with the people you live with, just to get us through this difficult winter. My understanding is that Santa has a travel form that is good in every community, every state, every county, and every country in America, in the world. He gets tested on a pretty regular basis, so do most of the folks that are part of his team, and I'm pretty sure he was on the really early list on the vaccine as well. We repeatedly begged people to stay home for the holidays this year and discouraged celebrations with loved ones outside their household. I saw several really impressive versions of Charlie Baker as Scrooge on social media.
You've been hearing me talk about Super Beets for a while now, and I'm sure some of you are still thinking, why Super Beets? You could take it from me. The benefits of Super Beets are incredible. I take them twice a day, once in the morning when I get up, even before I have my first cup of coffee, and the other time in the afternoon, right before the show. It gives me a burst of energy. It's great for my blood pressure. It's good for circulation. It just makes you feel better. If that doesn't convince you, we can talk about the science behind Super Beets. Beets have nitrates. Nitrates support better blood flow, and better blood flow equals better energy and efficiency throughout the body, and even supports healthy blood pressure. But Super Beets does so much more than eating regular beets and is unparalleled compared to other beet powders. Just one scoop of Super Beets has the nitric oxide equivalent of 3 whole beets. Go to superbeetsradio.com/Howie and try out Super Beets yourself. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie.
Joe Biden's plagiarizing prowess proves one thing: he's been stealing all his life.
Let us pledge that our generation of Americans will pay any price.
We shall pay any price,
Bear any burden.
bear any burden,
Accept any challenge and meet any hardship.
meet any hardship,
To secure the blessings of prosperity and the promise of opportunity for our children.
to assure the survival and the success of liberty.
But this standard is not a measure of how we can evaluate the condition of our society, cannot measure the health of our children,
That the gross national product does not allow for the health of our children,
the quality of our education,
the quality of their education,
the joy of their play,
or the joy of their play.
Come on, man.
I know he always asks me tough questions, and he always has an edge to him, but I like him anyway.
Now that you're president and you're saying there's nothing we can do to change the trajectory of the pandemic in the next several months, what happened to 2 months ago when you were talking declaratively about I'm going to shut down the virus? When President Trump was imposing travel restrictions in March, specifically on China, then candidate Biden called it xenophobic and fear-mongering. So now President Biden is putting travel restrictions on people coming in from other countries. What word do we use to describe that?
Well, I don't think that's quite a fair articulation.
Why weren't President Biden and all members of the Biden family masked at all times on federal lands last night if he signed an executive order that mandates masks on federal lands at all times?
That he was celebrating an evening of a historic day.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
844-500-4242. As you know, the mainstream media gushed over that speech that practically nobody watched. At least 60 million fewer viewers than allegedly voted for Joe Biden in the 2020 presidential election. But they were just amazed at how great it was, the media. And one of those who, as you might expect, was most bowled over by the brilliance and the eloquence of Dementia Joe was Chris Wallace. And there's a guy, Ben Domenech. I think he's been on with Grace in the past. He's from the Federalist, and he's been kind of trying out, I think, for a slot at Fox. And did he say this on the air, or did somebody record this off air? Taylor, do we know? It was on the air. It was on the air. Okay, so this has been Domenech. He really took down Chris Wallace after Chris's slobbering description of that incoherent word salad that Biden delivered the other night. Cut 35.
Talking at the same time as Chris Wallace about a Joe Biden speech, he waxed eloquent about how it was so powerful and unifying. I don't think that turned out to be true at all. I think it turned out to be a complete tissue of lies that Republicans rejected. It's not something that actually led to any kind of bipartisanship. I expect the same result from this speech. It is going to be a political blip, immediately forgotten. It is not going to change the course of anything in Washington, which is a now monopartisan affair under Joe Biden.
Thank you, Ben. Tell us how you really feel. All right, now we're gonna get to play some of Rudy Giuliani's cuts. You know what happened? Rudy Giuliani is no longer the mayor of America. He's no longer the guy who brought New York back after the disasters of the Dinkins years. He's no longer a former presidential candidate. He's no longer the mafia busting, crooked hedge fund busting former U.S. attorney. He is now Donald Trump's lawyer. That's the way they describe him, because that's the way they think they can make him look worst of all. So they went into it. The 7 feds, Federal Bureau of Investigation agents, went into his house at 6 o'clock yesterday morning with a search warrant to pick up his electronic devices, because it's unclear whether he's the subject or which just means he's involved in the investigation, or if he's the target, meaning they're after him. But they went in and they grabbed everything. And he went on last night with Tucker. First, he went on his own radio show on WABC in New York City. And then he went on with Tucker Carlson and to discuss what happened. And so, as you know, from the campaign, he was one of the people who got the Hunter. He actually, after the FBI, he was the first person to get the Hunter Biden laptops. So he was the one that was dishing out all this information. So when they came in with a warrant that said they were going to pick up all of his electronic devices, he asked them, he said, whether they wanted the Hunter Biden laptop and all the stuff that was on it. Cut 26.
They weren't taking the 3 hard drives, which of course are electronic devices. They just mimic the computer. I said, well, don't you want these? And they said, what are they? I said, those are Hunter Biden's hard drives. And they said, no. I said, are you sure you don't want them? I mean, the warrant required them to take it. And they said, no. And one last time I said, don't you think you should take it and they said, no.
I'm not sure the warrant required them to take it. The warrant, I think the warrant probably said something like, anything, any hard drives or devices connected to this investigation. So they could make the argument that the Hunter Biden stuff wasn't connected. But again, the stuff on that laptop or on those hard drives, however you want to describe them, I mean, it's a lot more serious stuff than Rudy Giuliani may be accused of doing, which is not registering as a foreign agent. So here's Rudy talking about what is actually on the Hunter Biden laptop. Cut 27.
The application is a straight out fraud. He says, I'm not an addict. We have a picture of him 5 days before smoking a crack pipe behind the wheel of a car and then saying under oath that he's not an addict. And it's the left that gets all perturbed about people who are mentally unstable having guns. Well, he was unstable. He's been, unfortunately and tragically, I feel sorry for that part of Hunter Biden. I think his father exploited him.
See, so there was evidence. Rudy is saying that he lied on this federal firearms form. Which is sworn under pains and penalties of perjury. So then now he's talking about how we're descending yet again after the Trump years into the police state, the banana republic, third world dictatorship, or soft dictatorship of a country where there are no laws. We're not a nation of laws anymore. We're a nation of men. Cut 29.
The Justice Department spied on me. And if that is not taken seriously, if that doesn't result in their being sanctioned, the case being dismissed, and it's stopping, this is no longer a free. We might as well be in East Berlin before the wall fell.
I don't think that's an overstatement. I think he's on target. And again, they're not just going after him, or he's just a means to an end, and the end is Orange Man Bad, Donald J. Trump. Cut 30.
But they relied on me, the man who had to be raided in the morning, because I'm going to destroy the evidence. I've known about this for 2 years, Tucker. I could have destroyed the evidence a year. I didn't destroy the evidence because the evidence is exculpatory. It proves that the president and I and all of us are innocent. They're the ones who are committing. It's like projection. They're committing the crimes.
Yeah. I mean, this is the way it's been since 2016. Projection. They accused Trump of colluding with Russia when Hillary Clinton was hiring Russians, paying Russians to make up crap about Donald Trump. They were talking about, Donald Trump is violating constitutional norms, and they're obstructing justice and presenting false evidence to secret courts where only one side of the evidence is permitted. I mean, how much more Orwellian? How much more Star Chamber-like could it be than to have a secret court where you can fabricate evidence? And they had no problem with that. And when they caught an FBI lawyer, they didn't even give him any time. They just gave him probation. They don't care. Cut 32.
He did exactly what a president should do with the president of Ukraine. He asked him to investigate a vice president who violated our laws over and over again. 30 years of the Biden crime family violating our laws. That is what is on the hard drive that they have censored. And that's why they want to put me in jail.
844-500-4242. Chris, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, Howie, I was just listening, and you know, the Stasi has nothing on this Justice Department. Don't forget, you know, the Clintons have been at this along with their friends. I mean, they were the ones that arrested that filmmaker years ago. They, you know, claimed was the one who started the riot in Benghazi.
Right, the
And they
Coptic
threw him in
Christian.
jail.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They threw him in jail without a warrant, without anything, and then meekly released him later. Trump's biggest problem was he didn't fire half the Justice Department when he had the power to do it. And these people never go away until they're in jail. What they're doing to Giuliani is a banana republic. You know how the banana republics work? They declare a crisis. They could declare they're subversives. They unleash the secret police. They arrest people. They seize their property. At least in Venezuela, those people were smart enough they leave town. But we don't get to leave town in America. It's just ridiculous. And I mean, any American should be frightened to death that they would do this to Giuliani as a lawyer for the president, spy on the lawyer, seize things in secret, kick his door down, and leave that laptop that really tells the story behind.
I know. And you know, the thing is, this, you're right, this is nothing new. And unfortunately, the two of the worst decisions Donald Trump made as president was he appointed Jeff Sessions as the Attorney General. And you know, and again, I thought he was going to be a good Attorney General too, but it was a bad mistake. He recused himself, and then he didn't fire James Comey on day one. He should have fired James Comey on January 20th. And when he fired him, the last person in the world he should have appointed to replace him was Christopher Wray. And he got some really, really bad advice from Chris Christie to give the job to Christopher Wray. And now you see Christopher Wray has just been a total disaster. He's as bad as James Comey. He's James Comey with a better head of hair. That's the only difference. Smug and look at, I mean, how can he just allow these kinds of outrages to go on? Thanks for the call, though, Chris. I appreciate it. In celebration of moms that run the world, this Mother's Day, thank her in a big way with a beautiful bouquet of tulips from 1-800-Flowers.com. There's no better way to show her just how grateful you are for everything she does. And right now at 1-800-Flowers, you can get 30 assorted tulips for $30. One of my favorite things about 1-800-Flowers is how long their bouquets last. We have one in our studio. It's been here all week long since Monday, and it still looks as fresh as a daisy, as a rose, as a tulip. They are picked at the peak of their freshness, and they last longer than any other flowers there are available anywhere.
And one of the great things about 1-800-Flowers, Howie, is that they work with a lot of the local florists that we have in our areas. So your stuff will be delivered when you want it to be delivered through your local florist in many cases. So you're not really putting anybody out of business. Everybody's working together here.
Right. And believe me, we're only 9 days away now from Mother's Day, and every day the price is going to go up and the selection is going to go down. You want to take advantage of 1-800-Flowers as soon as possible. With a bright mix of orange, yellow, and pink blooms. These tulips are guaranteed to show mom she's loved and appreciated. And as I've told you, I'm sending a bouquet to the mailroom manager because, as you know, I've said it before and you know it's true, women might say they don't want to get flowers on Mother's Day, but they do. And you know it and I know it. So avoid the hot tongue and cold shoulder for the next couple of weeks after Mother's Day. Do it now. Get 30 assorted tulips for $30 before the prices go up, and they will go up. 9 days to go. This special offer for my listeners ends today. This is the last day you can get this great offer on the tulips. Don't put it off. Order today from the official florist of Mother's Day, 1-800-Flowers.com. To order 30 assorted tulips for $30, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, and enter code Howie. That's 1-800-Flowers.com, code Howie. Hurry, this offer ends today. I'm Howie Carr.
Keep it here. The captain will be back after this.
This hour of the Howie Carr Show is brought to you in part by the Nauset Beach Inn on Cape Cod. You can still get an ocean view room in May and June for off-season rates. Visit their site today at nausetbeachinn.com. That's nausetbeachinn.com.
Howie says it all the time. When it comes to bad politicians, Massachusetts takes the cake.
It is my honor to introduce to you your senator, my senator, Senator Elizabeth Warren.
I know who I am because of what my mother and my father told me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Governor Deval Patrick. And frankly, I got to tell you, with all the other things I'm worrying about, this is not one of them. We're going to be fine. I'm in charge. Please join me in welcoming our own Senator Ed Markey.
The planet is running a fever. There are no emergency rooms for planets.
The very first African-American congresswoman to be elected from Massachusetts, Ayanna Pressley.
We don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't need queers that don't want to be a queer voice.
Let's give him a great Waterloo reception. John Kerry.
The Yankees posted the Boston Red Sox logo and they sang Sweet Adeline.
Everyone knows I love coffee and I'm not giving it up. I know that it would keep me up from time to time, but no longer with Balance 7. Balance 7 is a clear mineral liquid that you take 3 times a day to break down the acid in your body. When it does this, you'll feel better, and I sleep better. Often I'm asked to try products and I can be very skeptical on their claims. But with Balance 7, it was all 100% true. With Balance 7, I didn't feel my energy starting to flag as the day wore on. Because by sleeping better at night, it also gave me mental clarity during the day. Balance 7 is a highly alkalizing concentrate. That means it reduces the acids that have built up in your body. Balance 7 is also known for reducing acid reflux and heartburn as it did for the mailroom manager. Balance 7 is made of safe, all-natural ingredients. If you suffer from heartburn, acid reflux, or sleep issues, you should give Balance 7 a try. Order the 8-ounce 12-pack supply at balance7.com. Put in code word Howie. You will save $10 and you'll also get free shipping. Balance7.com.
He is the youngest senator that is going to be running. In his video, he also mentioned he's the only senator that lives in the inner city, and he's an unmarried vegan. So a lot of very unique qualities Cory Booker brings to the table, Kate.
Now, I appreciate the comments of my colleagues. This is about the closest I'll probably ever have in my life to an I am Spartacus moment. I am Spartacus. I am Spartacus.
Joey, you like movies about gladiators?
Have you ever had an LGBTQ law clerk?
I've not been a judge, so I don't have any law clerks.
Someone working for you.
I'm to be honest, I don't know the sexual orientation of my staff.
When Dick Durbin called me, I had tears of rage when I heard about this experience in that meeting. And for you not to feel that hurt, tears of rage.
Would you just stop being so dramatic?
I'm a big believer that if this country hasn't broken your heart, then you don't love her enough.
Maybe you know what a zombie is. You see them sometimes, walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring. You mean like Democrats?
Howie Carr is back.
I've told this joke before, but what's the difference between a New York Times reader or a CNN watcher today and a Pravda reader in the old Soviet Union. The Pravda reader in the USSR knew he was being lied to. I think most people that are the Democrats, the Kool-Aid drinkers, the moonbats, they really believe this stuff. And it's the big lie, and it just keeps getting repeated over and over and over again. Listen to the media on Biden's speech. Cut 37.
The simplicity of the language in every single line.
Often using that frequency modulation when he reduced his voice to a whisper.
Biden's speeches are like Roosevelt's fireside chats.
There was heart and there was feeling.
And his voice, that kind of grandfatherly whispery voice.
He treated the sparse crowd with a kind of intimacy in the chamber.
I think you're pulling the thread that was so brilliantly woven through this speech.
I thought there were parts of it just beautiful. I haven't seen him do that well, maybe ever.
His use of voice modulation was rather extraordinary.
That Biden humility.
I mean, it was beautiful.
It was beautiful. On the other hand, then there was Senator Tim Scott. He's a Republican, you know. Cut 38.
South Carolina Republican Senator Tim Scott with the Republican response to President Biden's speech.
This is a speech delivered from a planet where facts don't matter.
This was standard Republican pabulum.
It felt almost scripted.
I believe that was a longer response than we're used to getting. I'm not sure what the purpose of this was.
It is his responsibility to get his facts straight.
It was disappointing.
That's the 21st century Republicanism.
I am shocked and a bit embarrassed for him.
I'm shocked and a bit embarrassed for whoever said pabulum. Again, if you're going to insult somebody and accuse him of something he didn't do, which was deliver a bad speech, you got to at least pronounce the words correctly. Pabulum. Jim, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Jim.
Captain, how are you?
Good.
I don't remember what movie it's from, but the line is, "How the hell am I losing to this guy?" I cannot. That
was it from Saturday Night Live when Mike Dukakis is debating George H.W. Bush, and he turns, and George W. Bush is just rambling on, and Mike Dukakis turns to the camera. This is 1988 presidential election. Says, "I can't believe I'm losing to this guy." You're right.
Okay. That's what listen, I was never a conspiracy guy, but I did believe that people understood, hey, a little pressure here, a little pressure there, things can fall my way. And now they're not making pressure. They're just making stuff up. I mean, it's not the media, as you referred to. It's the cheerleader, not the media. And as you said, it is an arm of the Democratic Party. But I mean, and you know something? Talk radio is probably the last bastion of freedom. And I'm waiting to see when they come after that. And the reason talk radio is so conservative and TV so liberal, in talk radio, you have to, or I have to put forth an argument and then defend it. But with television, you need be nothing more than a mushroom. You sit in the dark, they give you a little bit of light, and they feed you a lot of fertilizer, and you thrive.
Yeah, I know. It's as Fred Allen used to call it, the old radio comedian. He said the TV is chewing gum for the eyes. Thanks for the call, Jim. 844-500-4242.
Governor Dukakis rebuttal.
I can't believe I'm losing to this guy.
That was a long time ago. That was when Saturday Night was Live was still funny. And it was like 12, 13 years on the air then. And it was good for all those years and maybe a few years after that. But now they don't even want to have Elon Musk on as the guest host because they're offended by him. I don't know why. I think he has a mind of his own. Sometimes he says something that's that's not PC, so they don't want to have anything to do with him. Nick, you're next. No time. We're out of time. 844-500-4242. That's the toll-free number of the Howie Carr Show. We will be right back with Chump Line and Police Blotter Facts Friday. I'm Howie Carr. Are you watching what is happening in the world today? Global pandemic, U.S. debt piling up, spiking inflation, and the looming Biden tax plan. In the 2008 financial crisis, many Americans lost a large portion of their retirement savings. So, what are you doing now to protect your money? Well, many turn to Goldco, the leading gold IRA company in the U.S. and four-time Inc. 500 winning company. With an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of five-star customer reviews, you can trust the team at Goldco to help you protect and grow your wealth. Go to goldco.com/Howie Carr to request your free IRA guide that uncovers the secret that financial advisors won't tell you. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay and fall victim to another stock market crash, inflation hike, or dollar decline. Visit goldco.com/Howie Carr to get your free IRA guide today. If you visit goldco.com/Howie Carr now, Goldco will give you up to $10,000 in free silver when you open a qualifying account. That's right, up to $10,000 in free silver.
I tested positive. Let's use this example of me having it as proof that you can get it too. God forbid, the rest of us should be staying at home for our mothers and the people that we love. And to keep us farther apart will ultimately bring us closer together in this cause. We have to do everything we can to avoid being sick. No matter where the virus goes, the way to stop it will always be the same. Our collective conscientious actions. Staying home. Staying home saves lives. I don't want some jack loser, fat tire biker get in my face and in my space and talk to me. I don't want to hear it.
Right here is the official re-entry from the basement.
You're a phony. Hey, this guy's a great big phony.
Cleared by CDC. A little sweaty. Just worked out.
Oh, my. This is Charlie Baker.
Hey, everybody. Charlie Baker here.
And these are his friends.
I've had my own friends say to me that this concept that their friends are a problem for them is an extremely hard one for them to understand.
In the world of Charlie Baker and his friends, the real world of panic porn, political leaders cannot survive without absolute power, and the public can't be expected to blindly follow orders without first hearing a made-up story.
And then I get a call from a friend of mine. Long story short, the restaurant was unable to accommodate that reservation. The other couple said they'd be perfectly happy to take an indoor seat. And my friend said, we'd love to see it, but we're going to pass. The other couple was angry. And then 5 days later, they both tested positive for COVID.
It's a confusing, nonsensical, follow-the-science world, but it's the only world they know.
And my friend felt pretty good about the decision that she made.
And they're the only friends Charlie Baker has.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
Now's the perfect time to get a pair of premium wireless earbuds, and Raycon is the way to go. Raycon start at about half the price of other premium brands on the market, and they sound just as amazing. And Raycon's everyday E25 earbuds are their best model yet. You get 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a comfortable, noise-isolating fit. Perfect for conference calls, video chats, or binging podcasts. Raycon was founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Cardi B and J.R. Smith have already given Raycons their seal of approval. I love my Raycons, and Grace loves hers, too.
Howie, I love my Raycons. Best birthday gift ever.
I listen to much better music than she does, though.
Hey, that's not true.
Now it's your turn to see what the hype is all about. Go to buyraycon.com/Howie. That's buyraycon.com/Howie. Buyraycon.com/Howie.
Are we starting to feel bad for Joe Biden? Sorta. Are we going to play his gaps anyway? Of course.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Now we need to stand behind Jamie Harrison, the next president, next senator. I'm looking forward to appointing the first African-American woman to the United States Senate. Just like here in California, here in Nevada. Back in the spring, late fall, late spring, late winter, early fall. Anyway, you know what I mean. Look, tomorrow's Superstar Tuesday. I tell you what, I'm rushing ahead, aren't I? We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by go. You know the thing. It says you cannot have 20, 30, 40, 50 clips in a weapon.
We'll see who's sleepy.
Mr. Vice President, thank you.
All right, Chuck. Thank you very much.
All right. It's Christmas.
Sometimes I wake up and I think it's 1920, not 2020.
Joe Biden accuses Trump of being a racist, but if you listen to Biden's comments, you would agree that he doth protest too much.
If you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
He's the first mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean.
And Madam President, we have predators on our streets.
That kid wearing a hoodie may very well be the next poet laureate and not a gangbanger.
They are beyond the pale, many of those people.
God love you. You've been here all day. My Lord, you may feel like you're being incarcerated.
We have no choice but to take them out of society.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
I think the two-party system is good for the South and good for the Negro.
They're going to put you all back in chains. Unlike the African-American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things. If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
Joe Biden's plagiarizing prowess proves one thing: he's been stealing all his life.
Why is it that Joe Biden is the first in his family ever to go to a university?
Why am I the first connect in 1,000 generations to be able to get to university?
Why is it that my wife, who's sitting out there in the audience, is the first in her family to ever go to college?
Why is Glenys the first woman in her family in 1,000 generations to be able to get to university?
No, it's not because they weren't as smart.
Does anybody really think that they didn't get what we had because they didn't have the talent?
It's not because they didn't work as hard.
Or the strength, or the endurance, or the commitment. Of course not.
It's because they didn't have a platform upon which to stand.
It was because there was no platform upon which they could stand.
I should have said, to paraphrase Neil Kinnock, it's the only time I didn't, and all the times I've ever used it.
Come on, man.
Hair loss is not one of life's more enjoyable experiences. If you're looking to fill in your hairline or reverse years of hair loss, DiStefano Hair Restoration will create a result that will be a transformative experience. The result of my IGT procedure was quite remarkable. I now have fuller, thicker hair so I can even wear it a bit longer. There are a few major decisions I've made in my life that I wish I did sooner. My hair restoration is number one. It was by far one of the best moves I've ever made. My hair looks awesome, and the confidence from having a full head of hair again has left me feeling great. I used to look in the mirror and dreaded seeing my ever-increasing bald spot. Now when I look in the mirror, I see the new me with a full head of thick hair. For information on how to make the same choice I did, go to hairman.com/Howie. What are you waiting for? More hair to fall out? Get the hair you've always wanted. hairman.com/Howie.
Hello, all the participants in tonight's event. We can overcome the deadly virus. We can reward work. We will reclaim our credibility. The pandemic, we need all our strength to persevere. Rural versus urban. America built of decency. I took it to instill public confidence in the vaccine. President-elect Harris took hers today for the same reason. Everybody is entitled to be treated with decency. All my colleagues I serve with in the House and the Senate up here.
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
They weren't taking the 3 hard drives, which of course are electronic devices. I said, well, don't you want these? And they said, what are they? I said, those are Hunter Biden's hard drives. And they said, no. I said, are you sure you don't want them? I mean, the warrant required them to take it.
Listen, if you are feeling uncomfortable about this at all, do not feel like you have to take it.
Why?
If you're having second thoughts, if you didn't want it, don't worry about it because, I could take it.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
I want it opened up on Monday. I want to open up New York City Tuesday. I want to open it up Wednesday. I want Buffalo fully opened on Thursday.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
You want some more crazy news? Stacey Abrams, who reached her Peter principle as a politician, as a member of the Georgia state legislature, is now thinking about running for president. Cut 51.
I do not know if I'm running. I am thinking about everything. Part of my opportunity right now is that I have a number of options I didn't know about before. And it's a Senate race. It's possibly running for governor again. It's possibly running for president. And my responsibility is to take seriously the opportunity, to give credibility to those who are asking me, but to make sure I'm the right person. This is the right time and it's the right job.
She's got a lot of power. USA Today allows her to stealth edit her columns calling for a boycott when she becomes embarrassed, when Major League Baseball actually decides to take her up on her demands, and cost the state of Georgia $100 million. Do you think she'll pay off her credit card bills before she announces her candidacy for the presidency of the United States? I guess it's optional now. 844-500-4242. Time for the chump line.
Joe Biden said he's going to get rid of cancer during his term in office. After that, he's going to get rid of Virgos, Taurus, Sagittarius, and Capricorn.
Yeah, definitely get rid of the bull, because, we got to get rid of those hamburgers. I guess Capricorn, too. That's goat. That's a meat, right? Yeah. If you could sum up his speech to Congress the other night, it would be free stuff, good. Cancer, bad. The Chump Line is brought to you by Matthews Brothers, America's oldest window manufacturer. This week, remembering the wise words of Martin Lamasny, the Mahatma of the West End. Never write if you can speak, never speak if you can nod, never nod if you can wink. To which we would offer the following addendum: don't ever, ever, ever tweet.
Lovey, I have no problem banning hamburgers. In fact, the last time I came in contact with one of those hideous things was when I pretended to eat one at Wendy's with that phony John Edwards. Let's ban this mess hall meat to save the environment, provided, of course, that we grant an exception for the filet mignon at the Chanticleer.
There's a story in a great book about Boston. It's called The Proper Bostonians by Cleveland Amory. It's from the 1940s. It's about all the rich Yankees on Beacon Hill. And so during World War II, apparently one of the dowagers, who'd always been living in this bubble, with nothing but rich people and the old Mayflower crowd, she went down to Tremont Street and was sitting at the counter, and she saw somebody eating a sandwich, and the waiter came up to her and said, the counter guy said, "Yeah, what do you have, ma'am?" And she said, "I'll have one of those fried meat sandwiches like that gentleman is eating." And the counterman did a double take and said, "Hey, Joey, come over here and look at this broad who don't know what a hamburger is." That's John Kerry is probably related to that woman. Maybe that was his mother.
Joy Behar and Joy Reid. To make a long story short, never name your kid Joy.
Yeah. No. There is no joy in Mudville.
Whether it's a speech or a debate, Joe always starts out sounding great. But when the drugs they've given plugs begin to wear off, they've sealed their fate.
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually pretty amazing that he didn't do multiple events today. The Today Show appearance was taped earlier yesterday, and they played it today. So I guess he did one event today, and that was the one in Philly, as he calls it.
Now that the Bidens are getting a cat, how long will it be before we see a picture of Hunter in a White House bathtub smoking catnip?
Come on, that's kind of a stretch. More likely it would be Joe chasing the cat around trying to grab its tail. Like
Parmesan cheese isn't a stretch. I'd say catnip's a likely possibility.
I don't know.
Charlie Parker here. As many of you know, I got my second shot and I had a little bit of pain in my arm. But I realize for most of you, I've been a giant pain in your, well, a little lower than your arm.
Yes, indeed you have, Mr. Charlie Bacon.
Yeah, so when is Joe Biden going to address the 58 gender wage gaps we have now?
I don't like that hate speech. There's 73 genders. Haven't you seen the updated list of genders? Facebook is going to be canceled for only saying there's 57 or 58. By the way, Charlie Parker today, he was so enthralled by the Patriots draft pick that he went on for like close to 2 minutes of jock sniffing talk, like he was the host of a piss poor sports talk show on Shillville Radio. Just went on and on and on. He is such a front runner. It's just, he is so intolerable. He's not. There's no way he runs for governor again. You know what? This would be the fourth race for governor because he lost the first one. Three were more than enough. No mas, Governor Parker Bacon.
Hola. Thank you for calling La Migra. For green cards, press 1. To go on welfare and get free government housing, press 2. To get your free copy of Kamala Harris's children's book, press 3.
Now they're saying there was only one of those children's books down at the border. It still made the point, didn't it? Cam on in. A really good New York Post headline.
Can I have the White House cat in the death pool?
What happens if? We'll talk with Dr. Matt about this problem. I mean, isn't it always risky to bring a cat into a dog household, especially if the dog is out of control?
Howie, Joe Biden calling. Come on, man. I'm still upset about the Academy Awards. Anthony Hopkins might be a talented young man, but the award should have gone to Douglas Fairbanks for Zorro. He wore a mask, man. I mean it.
That's true. That's true. He's referring, of course, to Douglas Fairbanks Sr., who he's more familiar with than Douglas Fairbanks Jr., who would be about 100 years old today.
In the immortal words of Joe Biden, ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah, ding-dang, walla walla bing bang.
Ting tang walla walla bing bang. Yes, that's Joe Biden. He of the slipping dentures and the slipping other parts of his body.
That was your last chump line message. Thank you for calling Howie Carr, you chump.
All right, that's it for the Chump Line today. The Chump Line is the recorded voicemail message service of the Howie Carr Show. You can leave your message anytime between the hours of 1 and 4 Eastern Time every weekday here on the Howie Carr Show. The Chump Line number, if you'd like to leave such a message, 844-500-4242, 844-500-4242. Press 2 for the Chump Line. Leave your message. We may or may not play it at this time each weekday. If you didn't hear your message or you just want to hear more Chump Line messages, we have a second feature, Chopped Chumps, the messages that didn't make the broadcast version. We post Chopped Chumps at around 7 o'clock Eastern every weekday evening. Get Chopped Chumps wherever you get your Howie Carr Show podcasts. The Chump Line is brought to you by Matthews Brothers, America's oldest window manufacturer. This week, remembering the wise words of Martin Lamosny, the Mahatma of the West End of Boston: never write if you can speak, never speak if you can nod, never nod if you can wink. That line is also attributed to Governor Earl Long of Louisiana. And to which we would offer the following addendum: don't ever, ever, ever tweet.
Charlie Parker here. As many of you know, I got my second shot, and I had a little bit of pain in my arm. But I realize for most of you, I've been a giant pain in your, well, a little lower than your arm.
Yes, you have, Charlie. But we're so happy that you're excited about the Pats #1 draft choice. I'm Howie Carr.
Be a part of the show. Call 844-500-4242. And mind your manners.
People lose teeth talking like that. If you want to hang around, you'll be polite.
The Howie Carr Show will return in a moment.
This hour of the Howie Carr Show was brought to you in part by Ken's Place in Scarborough, Maine. Stop by today and have one of my favorite world-famous batter-dipped fried clams. They are the best in the world. That's Ken's Place on Route 9 in Scarborough, Maine.
I love you 'cause it keeps getting better.
The Subaru of New England loves spring event is here. Celebrate in a brand new 2021 Subaru Forester starting at $24,795 with 0% financing for up to 48 months. Featuring standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, you've never been better equipped for a road trip. Details at SubaruofNewEngland.com. Get a great deal on the Forester and go love spring.
The Kathy Ireland Gem Spa was one of the hottest selling gifts this holiday season. This Mother's Day, give a gift that will provide a lifetime of sparkling, clean jewelry. I use mine every week and my jewelry looks amazing. So join the clean jewelry revolution. Get yours now. Go to mygemspa.com, use promo code GRACE and save $10. Plus, get free shipping. That's mygemspa.com, promo code GRACE and get $10 off. Plus, free shipping.
I'll sign anything you've got except a basketball. For those of you who aren't familiar with the story, there's a guy out. It's going to be on 60 Minutes tomorrow night. He says that they were going to kill me as I came out of my house in Acton. And first they were going to they said they were going to put a basketball full of C4 plastic explosives. Dynamite's not good enough for them. That's just too commonplace. It's too easy to get. We'll get some of that James Bond stuff. That's what Whitey wanted to do. And a basketball, I don't know what that's all about. As most of you who listen to my radio show know, they would have had a better chance of getting me to pick up something if they put some C4 in, I don't know, some donuts or some fried clams or something. A basketball. You've been hearing me talk about Super Beets for a while now, and I'm sure some of you are still thinking, why Super Beets? You could take it from me. The benefits of Super Beets are incredible. I take them twice a day, once in the morning when I get up, even before I have my first cup of coffee, and the other time in the afternoon, right before the show. It gives me a burst of energy. It's great for my blood pressure. It's good for circulation. It just makes you feel better. If that doesn't convince you, we can talk about the science behind Super Beets. Beets have nitrates. Nitrates support better blood flow, and better blood flow equals better energy and efficiency throughout the body, and even supports healthy blood pressure. But Super Beets does so much more than eating regular beets and is unparalleled compared to other beet powders. Just one scoop of Super Beets has the nitric oxide equivalent of 3 whole beets. Go to superbeetsradio.com/Howie and try out Super Beets yourself. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie.
They're outlandish, they're outrageous, and they're hypocrites. They're the women of The View.
Bernie was so menschy in that moment, like a real guy. I actually am aroused by him.
Timothy McVeigh was a Christian. Just saying.
Hitler was a Christian.
Well, he didn't like the Catholics.
Trump needs to be medicated and hospitalized at this point, or he is going to just kill all of us.
I mean, do we have to wait till the hammer and sickle is on the American flag before we stand up to this guy?
Joy,
You've worn blackface.
I did not go in blackface, please.
No, she was not in blackface.
Thank you.
It was a Halloween party. I went as a beautiful African woman.
Did you have tanning lotion on,
A little, I had makeup that was a little bit darker than my skin.
I'm hoping Dr. Jill becomes a Surgeon General. She's a hell of a doctor. Whoopi, you said that Roman Polanski, it wasn't rape. I know it wasn't rape.
Child molest, maybe? I'm not sure.
It was something. It was something else, but I don't believe it was rape.
Oh, no! Oh, no!
He's always ready with kind words of advice for the up-and-comers in the biz.
I told you this newspaper racket was a dog's life, fella. Now maybe you believe me. Take these pictures to the Globe and get you $200.
The Howie Carr Show is back.
So, like many people in Massachusetts who tuned into the draft after the Bruins game, okay? Mac Jones still being on the board by the time the Bruins the Patriots got a chance to draft was, I think, for all of us a bit of a surprise. But the thing I admire the most about this selection and about the fit with the Patriots is Mac Jones has kind of the same story that Tom Brady had coming out of high school and college, and that story is constantly being underestimated and in many respects disrespected by many of the folks that he played football or
Just
played
shut
football
up.
for.
I'm going to play
Shut
this for
up.
2 minutes if you let
Shut up! I can't take it anymore. Oh my God!
From Tom Brady over the years was
Jeez. Oh, please tune it. I can't even have it in the background. It's painful. It's horrible.
Mac Jones is clearly
Somebody
that
stop
kind of a
him.
player.
Can we talk about some protocols and regimes? My God. Everybody is Tom Brady on the day. If you go to the Shillville, the Boston sports radio cheerleaders and pom-pom wavers and the newspapers, everybody is Tom Brady.
Alabama was mind-boggling.
He had a pretty good team behind him. I mean, I think look at his wide receivers got drafted before he did. Chuck. It's enough.
On a
Stop.
team that admitted
Stop. I'd rather listen to Chris Christie. Chris Christie wanted to be the afternoon guy on the Fan, another Shillville intercon crappy sports radio station. Anyway, forget grocery store crowds. Choose from over 25 chef-created recipes every week with HelloFresh. You'll get a box on your doorstep filled with fresh, pre-portioned ingredients that in as little as 20 minutes will become delicious meals. Get 12 free meals, including free shipping with code Howie12 at HelloFresh.com/Howie12. Taylor, what's the poll question? What are the results? How come we didn't have the question, do you think Mac Jones is going to be the next Tom Brady? Yeah. What is the question?
who were selected in the first round yesterday.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
71% say dogs.
One thing about John Kerry becoming the climate czar, he had to file a financial disclosure statement with the State Department, and Axios got it. And again, I don't mean to spoil your Friday night here, but I'm just saying. Let me just say, preface what I'm about to say. I'm glad I don't have an account with Bank of America. I used to when it was NCNB, North Carolina National Bank, but I don't. You know why I'm glad I don't have an account with Bank of America? Live Shot has been making $5 million a year from the Bank of America, according to Axios. He was tapped as chairman of the bank's Global Advisory Council. The Global Advisory Council is getting advice from John Kerry. I would not only would I say liquidate your checking and your savings accounts and your anything else you got with the Bank of America, you probably get rid of the stock. He landed also $382,000 in speaking fees from entities, including Deutsche Bank. Remember this. Now, remember Trump had dealings with Deutsche Bank, and they said they were going to put him in jail for it. Deutsche Bank, Waste Management, and Cornell University. Kerry also reported compensation in excess of $5,000 for more than a dozen other speeches in 2019, including one to Barclays, Zurich Insurance, and the foundation run by Ukrainian oligarch Viktor Pinchuk. So, in other words, John Kerry did take money from an Ukrainian oligarch, unlike Donald J. Trump, who was impeached for having a conversation with the president of Ukraine. You know, they always used to say that, and it's true, John Kerry made his money the old-fashioned way. He married it, but now he's running his own grifts, apparently when he should be home preparing for. Well, I won't say what he should be praying for, but he's making money on his own for the first time ever, and not just his wife's money. Additionally, Kerry was an advisory board chairman for Climate Finance Partners. Oh, that creates innovative and globally needed finance solution that address climate change. Oh, he received more than $5,000 in compensation for being an advisor to Ripplewood, reportedly won by one of Kerry's friends, Tim Collins. The investment firm based in New York is known for leveraged buyouts. Remember when Mitt Romney was known for leveraged buyouts at Bain Capital, and they accused him of killing people? He murdered a woman who had cancer, and he fired her husband and cost her the insurance. It's amazing. It's kind of like the difference. There's almost a double standard here, the way Democrats and Republicans are treated. We'll be right back with Police Blotter Facts Friday. I'm Howie Carr.
After 167 years, we here at Matthews Brothers have been involved in figuratively millions, if not literally dozens of home renovations. And we can tell you from experience, the most commonly uttered word on a remodeling job is fudge. Not like, hey, Wilbur, be a good fella and pass me some of that delicious fudge. No, it's more like, oh, fudge, Wilbur, you just dropped the wrecking ball on the wrong house again. In order to prevent the, oh, fudge, that color combination looked a lot less ghastly in my mind than it does in real life type of old fudge, we strongly recommend our visualizer. Think Mr. John M. of Cape Jellison, Maine, who reported, thanks to your visualizer, our home renovation came out exactly like we planned, and now my wife almost never says, oh, fudge. At least when it comes to our windows. Thank you, Matthews Brothers. And a Mr. Richard Fader of Fort Lee, New Jersey added, your visualizer is amazing. You fellas ought to call it the Fudge Preventer. You can learn more about our wicked awesome windows and doors, but only at Better Lumber Yards and Window Professionals, or on the web at MatthewsBrothers.com. That's Matthews Brothers with one T, America's oldest window manufacturer.
And now a namaste moment with Chris Cuomo.
Hope with me that today Dr. King's example inspires the many striving for better and enlightens the toxic few determined to be their worst.
You're going to have a problem. What? What are you going to do about it? I'll ruin your I'll throw you down these stairs like a punk.
We could not have a better reminder that you can't kill an idea with violence.
And I don't want some jackass, loser, fat tire biker to be able to pull over and get in my face and in my space.
And that violence can be used as a refuge for those coming from a place of animus and ignorance.
What's the best way to handle it? You just ignore it.
Naked choke?
No, just ignore
Punch
it.
to the sternum? As Dr. King taught us, darkness can only be removed by the light of truth. And love is the ultimate form of truth.
Everyone knows I love coffee and I'm not giving it up. I know that it would keep me up from time to time, but no longer with Balance 7. Balance 7 is a clear mineral liquid that you take 3 times a day to break down the acid in your body. When it does this, you'll feel better, and me, I sleep better. Often I'm asked to try products and I can be very skeptical on their claims. But with Balance 7, it was all 100% true. With Balance 7, I didn't feel my energy starting to flag as the day wore on, because by sleeping better at night, it also gave me mental clarity during the day. Balance 7 is a highly alkalizing concentrate. That means it reduces the acids that have built up in your body. Balance 7 is also known for reducing acid reflux and heartburn, as it did for the mailroom manager. Balance 7 is made of safe, all-natural ingredients. If you suffer from heartburn, acid reflux, or sleep issues, you should give Balance 7 a try. Order the 8-ounce 12-pack supply at balance7.com. Put in code word Howie. You will save $10 and you'll also get free shipping. Balance7.com.
200 moms, dads, sons, daughters, and grandparents who are no longer with us.
I think it's up to 30,000 people have died.
Over 600,000 dead, 600 plus thousand people.
60,000.
660. We're in the middle of a pandemic that had cost us more than 85,000 jobs, lives of millions of people.
Now we have over 120 million dead from COVID.
200 million people have died. 205 million people, 1,000 people. 210,000 people have died. 4 million existing billion. 500,000. 50,000.
A class of 25, you end up having two classes of 12, for example.
But you know, in the 2020 census, which is now 2 censuses ago, the Oval back in May 2019, a $15 million, $15,000, $15 minimum wage. I got to the Senate 180 years ago.
This is Charlie Baker.
Hey, everybody. Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker here.
And these are his friends.
I can't tell you how many times in the past couple of months, somebody I know has told me a story.
In the world of Charlie Baker and his friends, the real world of panic porn, political leaders cannot survive without absolute power. And the public can't be expected to blindly follow orders without first hearing a made-up story.
Somebody I know has told me a story about how they got it, and it all goes back every single time to some informal gathering where nobody wore masks, nobody kept their distance, and the virus spread.
It's a confusing, nonsensical, follow-the-science world. But it's the only world they know.
I mean, it's pretty common at this point that that's where a big piece of this is coming from.
And they're the only friends Charlie Baker has.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
844-500-4242. It is the third hour of the last day of the week. That means it is time for our popular feature, Police Blotter Facts Friday.
Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action.
You know how Police Blotter Facts Friday works. All week long, we ask you, the listeners, to send in your funny stories or items from your local daily or weekly newspaper to grace@HowieCarrShow.com, grace@HowieCarrShow.com. We just want funny stories involving the police department, or they can be from the columns that many newspapers have that are actually written by the police department, the police log, the police blotter. But just send them to grace@HowieCarrShow.com, or you can still fax them to us at 857-284-8864. And at this time, every Friday evening, we read the funniest entries of the week in our opinion, and the two best entries of the week in our opinion get a nice prize. What do they get this week, Grace?
They will get a copy of your book, Plug Uglies. I had a lot of mug shots this week, Howie, so I thought that might be a good choice.
It's a scrapbook of Boston organized crime. It's a very entertaining book.
Alrighty, here we go. These are the runners up. A lot of them on another week could be winners, but we were pretty packed up today. Armed robber jailed after raiding McDonald's and fleeing with cash and a sausage McMuffin.
Well, I like sausage McMuffins. That's probably what I would steal too if I was going in. And I take a sausage biscuit. I prefer biscuits to sausage to the McMuffin.
Shocking footage has captured the moment a robber raided a McDonald's before demanding chicken nuggets, but fled with a sausage McMuffin as it was only serving the breakfast menu. That's a classic problem.
So
for people.
Inspector Carr believes that this crime took place before 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, this crime did take place before then. It was around 7 a.m. Yeah. Rudy Batten.
This is why I've been trained in criminology, Grace, so I can make these deductions just like that.
Yes, you're a sleuth, as Joe Biden would say.
Yes.
Rudy Batten had already raided a takeaway the night before, fleeing with some fried chicken. The next day, he went to a McDonald's and took money. It says 50 euros in notes from a till before holding an imitation gun to the head of the store manager and leading him to the safe. A red tin contained more money. Batten then asked for some nuggets, but had to settle for a double sausage McMuffin.
Crikey, mate.
Alligator, cow, delay Houston traffic, turn commute into a zoo.
Alligator, cow, or alligator cow?
The lowest budget Godzilla versus Kong movie I've ever heard of.
Alligator, cow. A cow and an alligator caused traffic delays on Wednesday during separate incidents in which the animals took themselves for a spin on a Houston area roadway. At around 8 a.m., the cow was spotted moving along the interstate, stopping traffic before the morning rush. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez tweeted that a pedestrian tried to rope the cow. The woman.
This is Texas, baby. Everyone's got a lasso in the back of their pickup truck, right?
It's the Wild West. She noticed, this is Stephanie Ramirez. She said that she noticed that the cow had been missing. The cow's name is Star. It broke out of its gate Wednesday morning. I think she was trying to get home, Ramirez said. A few hours later, a not fast but furious alligator parked itself on the shoulder of a busy bridge near the Houston suburb. At least one lane of traffic was blocked as several officers, including members of the Texas Park and Wildlife Department, placed a rope around the reptile's neck. After the alligator wrestled and spun on the ground, officers held it down as it's and then.
What was the alligator's name?
Well, it didn't report it, but if the cow's name was Star, I think the alligator's name was Moon.
Okay, Moon.
KFC employee.
At least you didn't name him Wally like you have the last 17 times I've asked you about the alligator's name.
I'm getting better as I go. KFC employee charged with assault after tearing apart kitchen over food preparation.
Oh, I saw this one. Yes.
An employee.
I was wondering, though, there's a part missing to this story, Grace. What was the actual complaint about?
Yeah, I know. And honestly, I knew you were going to ask that. And the sleuth and reporter in me was like, you should call up this KFC. But when I call these people at these stores and stuff, people get offended because they're like, we have serious issues here. And you're asking about what the complaint was. But I knew you were going to ask that, Howie.
So we'll go ahead with the story.
An employee of a KFC tore apart the kitchen and threw multiple heavy items at a coworker because he was mad over how they were preparing the food. This happened around 5:45 p.m. They said they spoke with the manager who explained 20-year-old Kenneth Douglas, who works at the KFC, became upset over how they were preparing the food. Once again, that doesn't tell us much. The police report alleges Douglas threw a metal rack and a fire extinguisher at another employee during the incident.
I think he wanted to find out what was in the secret spice that they use on the chicken.
Yeah, see, I was almost thinking that maybe he is a really, really anal person and he cooks the food really well and someone else is being a little sloppy, like not keeping the areas clean or something. But who knows? Florida woman arrested for offering...
Maybe they were serving stale biscuits.
That could be as well. The possibilities are really endless. Florida woman
Lumpy
arrested,
gravy?
Florida woman arrested for offering drunken lap dances to strangers.
Where did this take place?
It took place, well, first of all, we know what you're going to say. It's nowhere near me. It took place in St. Petersburg.
That's nowhere near me.
Exactly. A drunk Florida woman is arrested for offering drunken lap dances to strangers and asking police officers if they...
Well, if she's drunk, Grace, they wouldn't be sober lap dances, would they?
It's the Daily Mail. They're really going downhill over there.
Right. They need editors. Come on.
I have to say, though, Howie, and I'm only saying this because it's part of the report that I'm reading, she also asked police officers if they wanted to bang on the sidewalk.
She said that?
Yes.
So she was offering considerably more than a lap dance.
Yes. A drunk Florida woman, her name is Olivia Taylor Washik, 28, was taken into custody. She was offering random citizens lap dances outside of a bar on Central Ave in St. Petersburg. Officers called a fire rescue team when they discovered that she was highly intoxicated. And then she's said to have threatened to punch paramedics if they touched her. However, she continued to yell profanities at police officers and bystanders. At one point, she allegedly asked officers, like I just said, I don't want to repeat it again during the dinner.
Guilty or not guilty, Grace?
I do not partake in this.
Let me see.
I actually deleted the thing. I'm trying to save. I'm a cheapskate. I'm trying to save ink, Howie. I don't print the mugshots anymore. I'm getting to be like you, okay?
How do you spell the last name?
It's Olivia Taylor Washik. Washek. And by the way, she's currently competing with other women to be on the cover of Maxim magazine.
Very not guilty, Howie.
Ooh.
Really? Ooh.
Now, this is a great story. Man busted at JFK with 35 live finches stuffed inside hair curlers. This isn't the first time I've seen a story like this, but I've been around the block a couple times.
How long could birds live in that kind of
You'd be
captivity?
Surprised. You'd be surprised. This happens more often than you think, Howie.
Finches are cute little birds, too.
They are. A man was caught at JFK Airport on Monday, allegedly trying to smuggle 35 live finches stuffed inside plastic hair curlers and concealed inside his clothes.
Plastic hair curlers. I mean, wouldn't it be suspicious enough that a guy or anybody is wearing plastic hair curlers?
I don't think he was wearing them. I think he just had them inside his clothes. I don't know if you could get 35.
Well, he was wearing the clothes, though, wasn't he? He was wearing the clothes. I thought
that's definitely a tip-off. It's definitely a tip-off. You know, if Taylor came in one day with 1 million hair curlers in his pocket, I'd be like, what's going on? We need... Kevin Andre McKenzie is just the latest alleged would-be songbird smuggler. See, this is the New York Post. They know what they're doing. Busted using the hair accessory method to bring in the coveted creatures, which are used in...
How did they find out? Was there a canary involved in this? A stool pigeon who ratted him out?
He sang like a bird, which are used. Howie, these are used in these are used in high stakes singing contests, popular in Brooklyn and Queens. Now that I didn't know.
Really?
This is really interesting. CPP agents found the small seed-eating birds inside the curlers, which were covered with a mesh cloth and then concealed inside his jacket and pants, according to the criminal complaint. Although there are American finches, the Guyanese variety is more desired.
See, it was in his pants, Grace. Is that a finch in your pocket, or are you just glad to see me?
Well, that's all the details we really need to know about the 35 live finches.
Did they survive?
I think so. I've heard this story happen a lot, Howie. You really should look it up. This is a popular industry. This is a racket, you might call it. It's the finch racket. You're so naive, Howie.
I guess I am.
You're such a good kid. You think that the world's just made of roses. There's some bad people out there, and they're in the finch market. Naked woman breaks into Girl Scouts building.
Beware, beware, beware of the naked lady.
A Bismarck woman is facing charges after police found her naked, lying just off of Columbia Road early Thursday morning. Officers say the woman was unclothed and had minor injuries to her arms and feet. While investigating, officers located a recent break-in at the Girl Scouts Dakota Horizons building. Other nearby buildings appeared to be unharmed. During the course of the investigation, it was determined that the woman located along the side of the road was the suspect in the burglary. She was identified as Elizabeth Burns.
I thought the Girl Scouts were in trouble because the Boy Scouts are now allowing girls into their organization. I guess they're doing okay in North Dakota, huh?
But can I just say, as someone who compiles these stories every week, I'm almost wondering if some of these are inside jobs. Because the Girl Scouts are in the news every single week now. And if that's, Howie, every knock a boost, I'm starting to think if they have a PR person who's planting these stories.
Aren't we past the annual cookie campaign?
Exactly. Why do they keep being in the news? I'm just saying it's suspicious. Bounty hunter arrested after forcing his way into the wrong home and holding man at gunpoint.
Oh no, Boba Fett, what are you doing?
No, it's Khalil Abdullah. He's a bounty hunter. Nashville police say 3 bounty hunters were searching for a man named, ready for this, Taylor? This is going to make your Friday. Searching for a man named Tavares.
No way.
When they stormed.
Don't take away.
Heaven's missing an angel, and the jail is missing Tavares.
The men allegedly held Comer and a 16-year-old in the home at gunpoint as he tried to explain that no one by that name lived there. So he kept saying, "Where is Tavares?"
See, the real irony here is that one of the Tavares brothers was a bailiff.
Wow. The bounty hunters accused Comer of lying before eventually realizing they had the wrong house and fleeing the scene. 2 months later, one of the men, Khalil Abdullah, was finally arrested. So the bounty hunter becomes the hunted.
There's a lot of this going around. Did you see the story from Alaska about the FBI going in and to this couple's house in, I guess, Homer, Alaska, and they thought that they had purloined Nancy Pelosi's computer at the Capitol riots, and these people had no idea what they had. 12 FBI. That's 5 more than went into Rudy Giuliani's place yesterday in New York City.
Howie, I was actually just thinking a good poll question for next week would be: who do you know how you always say, "Don't let this destroy your faith in the integrity"?
Yeah.
Who has the least amount of integrity? The DOJ, the FBI, and I had a third one, but now I can't think of it.
The Mass State Police, perhaps.
Yeah, that's a good one. That could be the third.
Yes. We're still waiting to get the report on why Dwayne Correa was dishonorably discharged from the Massachusetts State Police.
Oh, by the way, Howie, before we get to the last one, arrestee tried to smuggle drugs hidden in prosthetic leg into jail. Keith Adams, this happened in the Tampa Bay area. Adams was a passenger in the vehicle, and he was sitting atop a glass pipe which contained a thick white residue which field tested positive for cocaine. They asked him if he had anything in his leg because they specifically said, if you're hiding something in your leg, you will be charged for it. You'll get an extra charge when you get to jail. And then when they got there, they found fentanyl and a stash of Xanax pills.
What a boob. I mean, did he think this was the first time this gag had been pulled? I mean, come up with something better.
This is our first rodeo. We deal with finches.
A wooden leg. I'm going to get some drugs into the jail because I got me a wooden leg.
All right, Howie, I'll save the other 2 for the other side.
All right. 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
Born in Maine, made in Massachusetts, and now a resident of the Sunshine State, Howie Carr, the original carpetbagger.
This Mother's Day, thank her in a big way with a beautiful bouquet of tulips from 1-800-Flowers. Right now at 1-800-Flowers, you can get 30 assorted tulips for $30. To order, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, and enter code Howie. Campers, are you looking for top dollar for your used RV? Cold Springs RV wants to talk to you. This is Howie Carr. If you have a used RV, my friends at Cold Springs are ready to take it off your hands. If you are looking to purchase a new or pre-owned RV, get to Cold Springs today. With the popularity of camping growing and manufacturers' constraints, the earlier you shop this year, the better. Learn more at coldspringsrv.com or visit Cold Springs RV in Ware, New Hampshire.
All moms love turtles, especially when they're Phillips chocolate turtles. Made with rich, smooth caramel, hand-roasted pecans, cashews, or almonds, then topped with a generous dollop of mouth-watering milk or dark chocolate. A tried and true Mother's Day tradition since 1925, and now you can order Phillips chocolate online just in time for Mother's Day. Go to phillipschocolate.com. Use code GRACE and receive 10% off, or visit the store at 818 Morrissey Boulevard in Dorchester. Go to phillipschocolate.com and use code GRACE.
What impact do you think Russian interference had in the election?
I think it was one of the major contributors to the outcome.
Years from the 2016 election, and Hillary Clinton still can't accept the results. Take a listen.
You know, you can run the best campaign. You can be the person who gets the nomination. you could lose. I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president. He knows.
The one thing that Trump is fearful of
Taylor.
When it comes to his being president.
Yes, sir.
How many times do I have to use this Matt the Vet intro here in the next hour? Thrice? 3 times.
Yes. So once at the open, once at the after the bottom of the hour break, and once during the last break.
Okay.
A corrupt human tornado. So maybe there does need to be a rematch. I mean, obviously, I can beat him again. So, of course, he's obsessed with me.
Now's the perfect time to get a pair of premium wireless earbuds, and Raycon is the way to go. Raycon start at about half the price of other premium brands on the market, and they sound just as amazing. And Raycon's everyday E25 earbuds are their best model yet. You get 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a comfortable, noise-isolating fit. Perfect for conference calls, video chats, or binging podcasts. Raycon was founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Cardi B and J.R. Smith have already given Raycons their seal of approval. I love my Raycons, and Grace loves hers, too.
Howie, I love my Raycons. Best birthday gift ever.
I listen to much better music than she does, though.
Hey, that's not true.
Now it's your turn to see what the hype is all about. Go to buyraycon.com/Howie. That's buyraycon.com/Howie. Buyraycon.com/Howie.
Here's 1 minute with Governor
Charlie Parker in Massachusetts.
I'd certainly put myself on that list. I'm a basketball player. I always was. There's a lot at stake here. This is not a virus to be trifled with or disrespected. Respect the virus. I have a hard time understanding when we're going to be able to play basketball again. We can start talking about a gradual, careful, data-driven, phased reopening.
So how long do you think it's going to take to pack?
Step on that. I need to talk to the Attorney General and find out what the actual parameters of the ruling are. Did this just happen? And the reason I read that story is because I'm a basketball player and I agree. I was first made aware of the discrepancy on this on the day that the registrar resigned. The vast majority, and I mean like the vast majority of the people who were part of these protests are there to make a point and to make it peacefully. That is so obvious, I'm amazed that anybody could say anything other than that. I would love to be able to open everything up tomorrow. That would be an incredibly irresponsible thing to do.
On the radio and on the big screen. Twice.
I am big. It's the picture that got small.
Howie Carr is back.
All right. We got time for the, I guess these are the winners, or are we going to have any more runners up?
No, these are the winners. And Police Blotter Facts Friday, Howie pointed out, it's a popular segment. It's a fan favorite. It's brought to you by Piantadozzi Baking Company, celebrating over 100 years of baking excellence since 1916. We thank everyone at Piantadozzi for sponsoring this segment. Make sure you check out their bread. Someone told me yesterday, Howie, that they go to the store and they call them Grace Rolls.
Oh, that's good. By the way, some of the texters, Grace, want to set up a GoFundMe page for Olivia Taylor Washak in St. Petersburg.
Oh, Howie, that's so nice.
I sent you her picture.
I know. I'm looking at it, and again, she's and oddly enough, Taylor, as you no doubt noticed, she's holding a glass of bubbly in her hand.
That's why you never take pictures with drinks in your hand. It's always, it never
always comes back to haunt you.
It does. Yeah. All right. So here's one runner up. This is a short one, but Fevin K arrested after being found passed out.
Not the Fevin K.
Yes, passed out.
You mean the hot local TV news anchor in Las Vegas?
Yes, a Las Vegas news anchor was arrested after being found naked and passed out in her car. Fevin K told cops she didn't remember how she got to the location where she was found.
She was naked in the car and drunk. An anchor. Wow.
All right, now this is the winner that this story blew my mind. Oklahoma woman charged with felony for not returning VHS tape 21 years ago. And I know what everyone's question is going to be. What was the VHS tape? Sabrina the Teenage Witch. She said, I went to change my driver's license during this COVID thing. You have to make an appointment. And so I sent them an email, and they sent me an email and said that I had an issue in Oklahoma. And this was the reference number for me to call. And I did. She told me it was over a VHS tape, and I made her.
What state was this in?
This is it says Cleveland County District Attorney's Office, but I think
Tennessee. I don't know.
Oh, I know what you're saying. What state did they call her from?
No, they call it the beef was in Oklahoma. It said, but I'm just wondering what state had some kind of reciprocal agreement.
It doesn't say where she lives now, but Howie, you know what the craziest part is?
What?
She said that she was getting laid off from jobs for years, and she didn't understand why, and now it makes sense because she had felony embezzlement on her record for like 10 years.
Wow.
Because of a VHS tape.
Sabrina, the teenage witch. Thank you, Grace.
Busted. Get it?
Busted. I'm Howie Carr. COVID and the long lockdown have kept many New Englanders stuck at home with cabin fever.
Can you give me a
is warming up, and now is the time to plan your island getaway to nearby beautiful Nantucket Island on Southern Airways. Flights begin May 25th with daily service from Norwood, Providence, New Bedford, and now new service from Hanscom Airfield, right off I-95 in Bedford. I've flown Southern, and it is definitely the best way to get to Nantucket.
I could stay in here if you're worried.
Getaway today at iflysouthern.com or call 800-329-0485.
This is Toby from Cape Gunworks. If you're looking to get your gun license, we've added tons of LTC classes, including ladies only and couples classes. Plus, visit us any Tuesday for free gun rentals on the range. Don't forget to listen to Rapid Fire every Saturday night at 7 p.m. on WXDK or on the iHeartRadio app. We'll be talking everything guns, freedom, and self-defense, sponsored by Vortex Optics. So go to capegunworks.com and check it out.
Joe Biden's plagiarizing prowess proves one thing: he's been stealing all his life.
Why is it that Joe Biden is the first in his family ever to go to a university?
Why am I the first Kinnick in 1,000 generations to be able to get to university?
Why is it that my wife, who's sitting out there in the audience, is the first in her family to ever go to college?
Why is Glenys the first woman in her family in 1,000 generations to be able to get to university?
No, it's not because they weren't as smart.
Does anybody really think that they didn't get what we had because they didn't have the talent?
It's not because they didn't work as hard.
Or the strength, or the endurance, or the commitment. Of course not.
It's because they didn't have a platform upon which to stand.
It was because there was no platform upon which they could stand.
I should have said, to paraphrase Neil Kinnock, it's the only time I didn't.
Thanks.
And all the times I've ever used it.
Come on, man.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. Tonight, I'd like to talk to you about the resources of the American Rescue Plan, and we need it urgently. You and your family could travel coast to coast without a single tank of gas on board a high-speed train. Dogs may help cure cancer. Not a joke. Risk more cases and more deaths. Now, when President Harris and I took tailoring combat uniforms for women, creating maternity flight suits, we need to prevent the supply chain crisis from hitting in the first place. These millstones no longer mark our national mourning. These milestones, I should say, no longer mark our national mourning. Dr. Fauci assured me that COVID-19 vaccines were safe. We owe you an incredible debt. I've said for many years. Okay. Where am I here? Let me see. I don't know, to be clear.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
Hair loss is not one of life's more enjoyable experiences. If you're looking to fill in your hairline or reverse years of hair loss, DiStefano Hair Restoration will create a result that will be a transformative experience. The result of my IGT procedure was quite remarkable. I now have fuller, thicker hair, so I can even wear it a bit longer. There are a few major decisions I've made in my life that I wish I did sooner. My hair restoration is number one. It was by far one of the best moves I've ever made. My hair looks awesome, and the confidence from having a full head of hair again has left me feeling great. I used to look in the mirror and dreaded seeing my ever-increasing bald spot. Now when I look in the mirror, I see the new me with a full head of thick hair. For information on how to make the same choice I did, go to hairman.com/Howie. What are you waiting for? More hair to fall out? Get the hair you've always wanted. Hairman.com/Howie.
What deal can we have, Crazy Nancy?
The Constitution does not say that a person can shout wolf in a crowded theater.
But to be clear, you're not taking any arrows out of your quiver. You're not ruling anything out.
Good morning. Sunday morning. Chocolate candy, chocolate, and then we have some other chocolate here. Consistently practice social distancing.
Why does AOC complain that you have not been grooming younger people for leadership?
I don't know. You'll have to ask her.
That was kind of sharp.
I'm not a big needle taker. I mean, I had a hard time getting my ears pierced. I'm not a big needle taker. I mean,
Mother Earth is angry. She's telling us.
What do you think is causing this erratic behavior?
I think that the president has always had erratic behavior. I have ice cream in my freezer. I guess that's better than having Lysol in somebody's lungs.
civilization as we know it is at stake.
I don't drink, but I'm happy to have ice cream with anybody anytime.
Which two words best describe the Biden administration?
Well, I feel, you know,
families should be, the rapidly rising in with I don't know.
First, any specific.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
Here's 1 minute of getting to know Jared Diglio. What would be your last meal on Earth?
Pizza. Cheese pizza. Just regular cheese pizza.
What drink are you going to have with your pizza?
I gotta go Coke. You gotta go Coke with pizza. It's the perfect combination.
Where's your favorite vacation spot?
I'm a staycation kind of guy. I like just staying in my place, but if I had to go to a destination, I love Italy, especially Rome.
If you could live in any state besides Massachusetts, which one would you choose?
Nevada. Wide open land. People leave you alone. Plus, it's not that far from Vegas or LA.
If you weren't in radio, what profession would you be in?
Gigolo.
Favorite comic book character?
Spider-Man. He's been my favorite since I was a kid. He's the most identifiable of the superheroes. He's just kind of a normal guy who's got a lot of problems, but he's got to overcome it and save the day.
Favorite Star Trek character?
I love TNG, but I got to go with James T. Kirk.
Dogs or cats?
Neither.
McDonald's or Burger King?
McDonald's.
Ice cream or cake?
Ice cream.
Sweet or salty?
Sweet.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
You've been hearing me talk about Super Beets for a while now, and I'm sure some of you are still thinking, why Super Beets? You could take it from me. The benefits of Super Beets are incredible. I take them twice a day, once in the morning when I get up, even before I have my first cup of coffee, and the other time in the afternoon, right before the show. It gives me a burst of energy. It's great for my blood pressure. It's good for circulation. It just makes you feel better. If that doesn't convince you, we can talk about the science behind Super Beets. Beets have nitrates. Nitrates support better blood flow, and better blood flow equals better energy and efficiency throughout the body, and even supports healthy blood pressure. But Super Beets does so much more than eating regular beets and is unparalleled compared to other beet powders. Just one scoop of Super Beets has the nitric oxide equivalent of 3 whole beets. Go to superbeetsradio.com/Howie and try out Super Beets yourself. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie.
Normally, we give Fredo Cuomo a lot of attention, but lately it's Governor Andrew Cuomo who's been grabbing headlines. Let's take a listen to some of his best moments.
You're an essential worker, so go take a job as an essential worker.
But the people aren't hiring because of...
No, there are people hiring. You can get a job as an essential worker. So now you can go to work and you can be an essential worker and you're not going to kill anyone. The number is down because we brought the number down. God did not do that. Fate did not do that. Destiny did not do that. We're not going to make America great again. It was never that great. Because I can also see you are in masterful shape.
Cuomo remains governor.
It has a very
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
They weren't taking the 3 hard drives, which of course are electronic devices. I said, well, don't you want these? And they said, what are they? I said, those are Hunter Biden's hard drives. And they said, no. I said, are you sure you don't want them? I mean, the warrant required them to take it.
Listen, if you are feeling uncomfortable about this at all, do not feel like you have to take it.
Why?
If you're having second thoughts, if you didn't want it, don't worry about it because, I could take it.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
I want it opened up on Monday. I want to open up New York City Tuesday. I want to open it up Wednesday. I want Buffalo fully opened on Thursday.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
So the new no mask rule, or the mask mandate, was rescinded today by Governor Charlie Bacon. And the Globe did a man in the street interview about it. Why some won't ditch their masks outdoors, : quote, I'm not about to look like a Republican. Well, at least they're truthful. That's what it's all about.
I saw a reporter in D.C. had overheard a conversation just like that in D.C. I'm vaccinated, but I don't want to look like a Republican.
I don't want to look like a free American. Good Lord. All right. 844-500-4242. Every month we are joined for 1 hour, the last hour of a Friday night, by Dr. Matt Callahan. He's the House veterinarian of the Howie Carr Show, and he is here to answer any of your questions about your pets. And we're going to take calls all hour. And he's a really good veterinarian. He did a great job with my dog Gooner. And he'll do a great job with your dog or cat. And Matt the Vet is brought to you by the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. For all your pet odors, save $200 and get the Thunderstorm Air Purifier 3-pack. You get 3 of these for less than $200, or about $200 at EdenPure.com. Code word Howie3. This is a great deal. And Dr. Matt has them in his clinic, right, Dr. Matt?
I do. They work terrific. I'm a huge fan.
All right. Well, before as we try to get the lines lit up here with questions, I got to ask you a couple of questions here about stories in the news. Now, you saw today that on the Today Show, the hard-hitting interviewer asked the Bidens if they're going to bring a cat into the White House, and they said yes, they are. The cat is in waiting. Is it a good move to bring a cat into a house where there's kind of a wild big dog?
Well, I think, it's actually pretty complicated. I think this cat's probably coming out of a shelter situation, so it's going to be put in a whole new environment. And those can be frustrating and difficult for the poor cat. Cats do crave sameness, and this might be a situation where the cat's spending some time in the White House living quarters, probably being stalked by photographers, and then
how about being stalked by Major?
Yeah, well, that's good dog cat relationships are usually run by the cat, so you don't want to allow the dog to run the show. Things tend to go poorly in that case. But yeah, Major or Champ could decide that they don't like the new cat very much. The White House is a big space; they probably can be segregated.
All right. The other question here, this was something I never even heard of until today, but this was I guess it was a press release from the Attorney General's office. 2 finance companies have agreed to waive balances on outstanding dog leases in Massachusetts to settle allegations that they illegally leased dogs in the state. If a family misses a payment, the dog can be repossessed just like a leased car. And this is what Mara Healy said. Getting a dog can be a significant financial and emotional investment for many families. So when a dog is used as collateral in a lease, the end result can be expensive and heartbreaking. I never heard of such a thing, Dr.
Well,
Matt.
I never heard of it until I heard you say it, and then I went back and looked at the story. It is a first for me. But yeah, it is kind of weird that the leasing companies it was like a rent to own. I suppose it's heartbreaking if you lose your sofa back.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
But your dog, probably it's even worse. So yeah, that was just a weird one. And then what do they do with the dog that's now been repossessed? I have no idea how that works, but it didn't seem terribly above board.
I remember in The Last Hurrah by Edmund O'Connor, the famous novel about James Michael Curley, basically, in his last run for mayor. His young opponent decides to rent an Irish setter. And, it seemed like a funny joke at the time, but now apparently it's really going on.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like the sums were so high that there were that many people involved in the charade, I guess. But it's just bizarre. I mean, I guess I've heard of people like short-term rentals to bring your French bulldog out into Central Park to attract the opposite sex, but this is a different thing altogether.
The other story before we get, and again, the number is 844-500-4242. Another story in the news. The LA cops did a good job. They busted the dog nappers who stole Lady Gaga's French bulldogs, and they and two of the three, and they shot the guy the dog sitter who defended and kept one of the dogs, and he's lucky to be alive. But it's confirmed my suspicions that they had no idea that these dogs were owned by Lady Gaga. They were just stealing French bulldogs because they're valuable dogs, and I think everybody knows that at this point. What is are French bulldogs the most expensive, popular pets now?
Well, it's a little bit like style and fashion. We see, when I started practice, which was quite some time ago, 35 years ago, I don't think I saw a French bulldog in the first 3 or 4 years of practice. And now I don't go a week without seeing them. In fact, we saw 3 in one day a couple of weeks ago. So the first 50 years of the 1900s, the most popular dog was the Cocker Spaniel. I mean, the first 50 years.
Right.
And now I rarely see a Cocker Spaniel, or you said Irish Setter. I rarely see an Irish Setter. I mean, they're just out of fashion. It's just it's a fashion thing.
Yeah. So would French bulldogs be the number one most popular among the upper crust?
They are really, really popular. They are actually pretty terrific dogs.
They are. I like them.
A bit. Yeah. But 10 years from now, it'll be something else.
Yeah. All right. They were gangbangers, by the way, who grabbed these dogs. I mean, it looks like they were just cruising in an upscale neighborhood looking to rob somebody of their dogs.
Frenchies are probably the most popular amongst gangbangers. It used to be pit bulls, but they've moved on.
If I had to protect my stash, I'd still go with a pit bull over a Frenchie.
Be a good decision.
All right. We're going to take some calls with Dr. Matt. By the way, where is your clinic located, Dr. Matt, and how can people reach you?
Yeah, I work at the Ipswich Animal Hospital on Route 1 in Raleigh. The number is 978-948-8189.
978-948
8189.
8189. Okay. Barney, you're next with Howie Carr and Dr. Matt.
Well, good afternoon, gentlemen. I've got a fun one for you today, doctor. So my dog's been doing this lately. He's 12 years old. He's a Westie. And I put his food down. And by the way, this is top choice food. I spoil my dog.
Right.
Okay. And I put it down in front of him. He takes his nose and he swipes up at the bowl like he's trying to bury it.
Yeah.
And then he'll stick his nose in. Then he pulls his nose out. He tries to do it again. What is that?
Well, that's pretty natural dog wolf behavior. They're trying to hide their stash basically and protect it. It's the same thing. Dogs will go out, circle 10 times before they lie down or mark their territory or hide their food. It's a sort of more primitive method of trying to hide their food. So there's nothing per se wrong with it. You might want to get a heavier bowl or, something like that. But it's nothing pathological so far as I can tell.
Well, I mean, Barney, if you fed the dog less often, the Westie, wouldn't he be more inclined to just eat it immediately rather than try to stash it?
That's a good point.
See, you don't need me here.
Yeah.
I know if I'm hungry, I'm less likely to hide food myself. I think all animals are kind of the same way, aren't they? But maybe that has something to do with it too, Barney. Thanks.
Or maybe just wants new food. Sure.
All right. We're going to take some more calls when we come back for Dr. Matt. If you got any kind of questions about your pets of any kind, a dog, cat, or otherwise, give us a call at 844-500-4242, 844-500-4242. Eden Pure has brought back the 3-pack for this week only. You can save $200 on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm Air Purifier 3-pack. You'll get 3 units for under $200 and save $200. One for your basement, first floor, and second floor, all in one purchase. Allergy season is here and is not ending anytime soon. If you suffer from all the pollen, then you need the Thunderstorm. With the 3-pack, you can now enjoy clean air everywhere in your house or workplace. It's been months now that we've been talking about the Thunderstorm Air Purifier. People still ask me if it really works. Not only does it really work, it works in hours. The Eden Pure Thunderstorm Air Purifier is so small and light that you can hold it in your hand and plug it right into the wall. The best part is you don't have to replace any air filters, which of course saves you time and money. Other air purifiers can cost up to $600 for just one unit, and they can be very bulky, clumsy. Go to EdenPure.com, click the radio banner, and put in code word Howie3 to save $200 for their special 3-pack. EdenPure.com, radio banner, code word Howie3. The 3-pack special is for this week only. I'm Howie Carr.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Radio Network.
This hour of the Howie Carr Show is brought to you in part by Fun Spot, the largest arcade in the world. Located in Laconia, New Hampshire, Fun Spot is open every day for family fun. That's funspotnh.com.
I'm kind of the Grinch when it comes to almost any private event of any kind. The guy who stole Thanksgiving, the guy who stole Christmas, the guy who stole New Year's, the guy who stole every holiday you can think of.
And Thanksgiving requires folks to eat indoors, to drink, and to socialize over an extended period of time, and maybe watch a football game or two. The other thing that some do is they go to the high school football game. There won't be one of those this year, so at least that won't happen. The best way to celebrate Thanksgiving is to only gather with members of your household. Any group gathering beyond this poses a significant chance of spreading the virus. If you do anything more than that, you really ought to wear a mask and keep it short. And if people abide by these very simple rules and concepts, it can give us the kind of holiday season that I think everybody is hoping for. I know that sounds harsh and it runs counter to traditions and habits. Try to think about the fact that small can be intimate and just as special as larger gatherings. And larger gatherings are simply not worth the risk to you or your loved ones.
Everyone knows I love coffee and I'm not giving it up. I know that it would keep me up from time to time, but no longer with Balance 7. Balance 7 is a clear mineral liquid that you take 3 times a day to break down the acid in your body. When it does this, you'll feel better, and I sleep better. Often I'm asked to try products and I could be very skeptical on their claims. But with Balance 7, it was all 100% true. With Balance 7, I didn't feel my energy starting to flag as the day wore on, because by sleeping better at night, it also gave me mental clarity during the day. Balance 7 is a highly alkalizing concentrate. That means it reduces the acids that have built up in your body. Balance 7 is also known for reducing acid reflux and heartburn, as it did for the mailroom manager. Balance 7 is made of safe, all-natural ingredients. If you suffer from heartburn, acid reflux, or sleep issues, you should give Balance 7 a try. Order the 8-ounce 12-pack supply at balance7.com. Put in code word Howie. You will save $10 and you'll also get free shipping. Balance7.com.
We are now effective today requiring all counties to close their indoor activities, their indoor operations in the following sectors: restaurants, wineries, tasting rooms. A few weeks ago, I was asked to go to a friend's 50th birthday. I made a bad mistake. Instead of sitting down, I should have stood up.
Stay at home as much as possible. Put those social gatherings on hold, including extra care for Thanksgiving.
Denver's mayor told you to stay home for Thanksgiving, then he got on a flight to go see family out of state.
Some people calling Supervisor Kuehl a hypocrite. Now, on November 24th, she voted to ban outdoor dining, and on the very same day, she was spotted eating out.
I take responsibility for trusting the word of the neighborhood salon that I've been to over the years. As it turns out, it was a setup. So I take responsibility for falling for a setup. This salon owes me an apology. What they do.
The Howie Carr Show.
844-500-4242. Dr. Matt is here with us, and we have full lines now, but we're going to get to a lot of people here this hour. Forget grocery store crowds. Choose from over 25 chef-created recipes every week with HelloFresh. You'll get a box on your doorstep filled with fresh, pre-portioned ingredients that in as little as 20 minutes can become delicious meals. Get 12 free meals, including free shipping, with code Howie12 at HelloFresh.com/Howie12. HelloFresh.com/Howie12. Taylor, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
Cats or dogs?
I'm for dogs.
It was up to 30% for cats, but it's back down to 29.
I can't ask you that question, can I, Dr. Matt?
No, you can say, however, I will treat your pet no matter how you answer the poll question.
And where do people go if they want your services during the week? What number should they call?
They can call me at the Ipswich Animal Hospital at 978-948-8189.
All right. Jim, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Jim, and Dr. Matt.
Hi, Howie Carr and Dr. Matt. First, I want to say thank you for taking my call. My question is, can a horse live to be 20 years old or 20-something years old?
A cat, did you say? Oh, a horse.
A horse.
Oh, yeah. There are 30-year-old horses. There are 40-year-old horses. Yeah, absolutely. That's not uncommon at all.
How old's your horse, Jim?
So good enough. Oh, I don't know. Own a horse. I'm just curious. Can they live to be 20-something? Yeah. Years old. Because they can even live to be 40 years old. That's very good. That's very, very good.
Yes.
Thanks for the call, Jim. Donna, you're next with Howie Carr and Dr. Matt. Go ahead, Donna.
Hi, Dr. Matt. I have a 4-year-old German Shepherd, and he gets pink eye like every 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, because of the COVID restrictions, he's not very good at the vet. He has to have medication and go in because they take it from the car.
Yep.
Is there any way I can get a prescription for it without bringing him to the vet?
Here's the thing, is dogs that get conjunctivitis, the vet has to check them to make sure there's no corneal injury. A dog I've had a case where a dog got conjunctivitis repeatedly, and then the owner decided to just freelance and treat the dog with a cortisone-containing eye ointment, and then the dog was at the emergency clinic trying to get his eye saved. So you do actually have to bring them each time. That's not so frequent that you can just go ahead and make a unilateral decision to treat your dog.
Okay,
All
Donna.
right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Donna. I understand, her reluctance to get into the BS.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's a pain. It's a huge pain in the neck. But the problem is, most conjunctivitis is not an actual problem in the eye. It's the lining around the eye, the conjunctiva. But with dogs, unlike people, you have at least a decent chance of having a scratch on the cornea, Major and the new cat get into it, or the dog's just out bebopping around the yard and gets a thorn in the eye or a scratch on the eye. So you really do have to it takes 2 seconds for the vet to know. They put a little stain in the eye and they know, and then they can medicate from there.
Robert, you're next with Howie Carr and Dr. Matt. Go ahead, Robert.
Oh, gentlemen, thanks for taking my call. I got a 7-year-old beagle who gets car sick.
Yeah.
And I've been giving her Dramamine.
Yeah.
And that worked a couple times.
Yeah.
And like the 4th time, it didn't work. And I saw this thing where they have a seat where it boosts them up.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see out the window. Does that actually work?
I've never heard of it. My dog does better with an open window, which you can't have all the time. So does better in the front seat. Yeah, does better than in the front seat. They'll just like a person, probably does better in the front seat, does better when they can look out the window. So I guess I wouldn't say, just as an offhand comment, just hearing about it, I would say it has the potential to work. I don't know how long your beagle, how frequently your beagle's in the car, but there are some really, really good newer anti-nausea medications, Serenia being the most popular. It's a very, very good anti-motion sickness.
Is it over the counter, or you got to get a prescription?
It is unfortunately not over the counter. You have to get a prescription for it, but it's very safe and very effective. Now, if your dog's in the car 5 days a week, it's probably not practical. Then I would get the high chair.
Thanks for the call, Robert. Elizabeth, you're next with Howie Carr and Dr. Matt. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Thank you. I have a 7-year-old tuxedo cat that it has a cerebellum hyperplasia.
Yeah.
And she's been fine all these years. And however, about a month ago, she started acting very lethargic and not eating. And I took her to the vet, and they did a complete blood panel.
Yeah.
And they couldn't find anything, but they put her on, which I've had before, mirtazapine, and that
Sure.
worked a couple of days, and then she went back to not eating. And since that time, it's been off and on, and she's still been on the Mirataz daily,
Yeah.
but it really has no effect at this point. And she's getting, she had like a spasm a couple of weeks ago, whereby.
Yeah. So you're asking what you should do next, right, Elizabeth? What should she do next, Dr.
Yeah,
Matt?
so this may or may not be related to cerebellar hypoplasia. Cerebellar hypoplasia is a disease that cats get when they are infected with a virus in the uterus, and it causes their cerebellum, which controls their muscle movement, not to work very well. So these cats are, may have a tremor, may have some trouble walking, but it doesn't usually affect their overall life. So, if you have a cat with that disease and then they are lethargic and don't want to eat, I would at least initially treat them as separate things unless you can, link them. Certainly if you're a regular vet, I would certainly bring them back at least one more time if they want to refer your cat. There are referral places that can do more advanced imaging or more advanced testing to try to find out what the underlying problem is. Mirtazapine is a pretty good appetite stimulant, but that's all it is. It's just an appetite stimulant.
Thanks for the call, Elizabeth. We have time for one more. Bruce.
Yes.
Bruce, you're next with Howie Carr and Dr. Matt. Go ahead, Bruce.
Dr. Matt, I'm very familiar with your location because I lived up in that area.
Oh, yeah.
But
Get
I
to
want
the
to talk about my buddy Drew Maccarell.
Yes.
He used to own that property.
Yeah.
But this being said, I have 120-pound American Staffordshire.
Yep.
He's a champion. I got him when he was like 2 years old.
What's your question? Question, Bruce. We're running out of time.
The question is, he takes butter off my counter and stuffs it in my shoe.
Don't put butter on your counter. Do not put butter on your counter.
Switch to margarine. It'll be cheaper. All right. We'll be right back with Dr. Matt, 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr. What are you craving for dinner tonight? How about a mini break? Forget grocery store crowds. Forget sitting in traffic trying to figure out what's in the fridge or what you feel like eating or how to make that. Let HelloFresh handle all the shopping and meal planning for you. All you have to do is choose from over 25 chef-created recipes every week. Vegetarian, carb smart, one pan, family friendly, all up to you. Soon there will be a HelloFresh box on your doorstep, delivered contact-free. It will be filled with fresh, pre-portioned ingredients sourced directly from growers and easy-to-follow recipe cards that, in as little as 20 minutes, will become restaurant-quality meals. And best of all, it's 28% cheaper than your local grocery store. It just makes sense, so you could relax. No, I'm all set. Thanks to HelloFresh, giving yourself a break is back on the table. Go to HelloFresh.com/Howie12 and use code Howie12 to get 12 free meals, including free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/Howie12, code Howie12.
We have an ethical problem revolving around one of our congressmen, Barney Frank. Well, Barney answered an ad some years back in the newspaper called the Washington Blade. Here's what it said. Exceptionally good-looking, personable, muscular athlete is available. Hot Bottom plus large endowment equals a great time, and it's signed Greg.
Well, Barney answered the ad. They had sex. After they had sex a few times, Barney said he decided to hire this fellow, Hot Bottom, as a consultant, and that he was going to try to rehabilitate him. Barney said he paid him $20,000. He neglected to get a Hot Bottom Social Security number, apparently.
But he did come forward and admit he made a mistake in trying to...
His exact words were, "I was suckered." An unfortunate choice of words, I think we all agree. Now's the perfect time to get a pair of premium wireless earbuds, and Raycon is the way to go. Raycon start at about half the price of other premium brands on the market, and they sound just as amazing. And Raycon's everyday E25 earbuds are their best model yet. You get 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a comfortable, noise-isolating fit. Perfect for conference calls, video chats, or binging podcasts. Raycon was founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Cardi B and J.R. Smith have already given Raycons their seal of approval. I love my Raycons, and Grace loves hers, too.
Howie, I love my Raycons. Best birthday gift ever.
I listen to much better music than she does, though.
Hey, that's not true.
Now it's your turn to see what the hype is all about. Go to buyraycon.com/Howie. That's buyraycon.com/Howie. Buyraycon.com/Howie. And now, a minute of wisdom from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Millennials and people and Gen Z and all these folks that come after us are looking up, and we're like, the world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. And your biggest issue is how are we going to pay for it? And this is the war. This is our World War II.
I think that there's a lot of people more concerned about being precisely, factually, and semantically correct than about being morally right.
But being factually correct is important.
It's absolutely important.
And if we work our butts off to make sure that we take back all three chambers of Congress, all three chambers of government, the presidency, the Senate, and the House in 2020, we can't start working in 2020.
Well, you could certainly see this one coming for years. Howie Carr has had a rocky relationship with WRKO. The station declined to renew Carr's contract, which expired last week. He has no place to go. People aren't running out there rushing to pay, Howie Carr $800,000, $900,000 a year.
That's it. It's the money. Entercom might have been willing to renew him for a much lower figure. It's a much smaller business than it used to be. This is a dying medium, except for sports.
AM talk is just too dumb. It's too tedious and repetitive and constant with the same thing over and over and over.
Would you look at this as an end of an era in Boston in terms of communications?
I don't think he'll be going hungry. And don't forget, I've never seen anyone who wanted out from their current employer more than he wanted out of there.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
With us for the rest of the hour is Dr. Matt Callahan. He's the house vet of the Howie Carr Show. Matt the Vet is brought to you by the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. For all your pet odors, save $200 and get the Thunderstorm Air Purifier 3-pack. You get 3 at EdenPure.com, code word Howie3. And Dr. Matt, how many do you have in your clinic right now?
How many
thunderstorms?
Oh, thunderstorms. I have 3 thunderstorms, and so they're all over the place, and I move them depending on whether I need them. We're doing some floor work in the kennels, and so I moved one into the kennels for odor suppression.
Yeah, and the great thing about the thunderstorm is you can just move them around, just unplug them and plug them in somewhere else. Yeah. So, Dr. Matt, what is your phone number, and where can people reach you if they need your services during the week?
People can reach me at the Ipswich Animal Hospital, and that's 978-948-8189.
Great. Thank you. Kim, you're next with Howie Carr and Dr. Matt.
Hi, Howie. Hi, Dr. Matt.
Hi.
This is actually a question for my friend. So she had a 7-year-old Yorkie, or has, and he had to have a cyst removed from his buttocks.
Yep.
And during the surgery, they put him on a warming pad, and it burned the entire right side of him.
Yep.
And so first they tried to say it was his medication, but it actually slit the entire side. And then during the treatment of it, it went up the entire side of his body.
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was any legal recourse that they have.
Yeah, they'd have to. That's not for a veterinarian. That's really for an attorney. So, but yeah, I mean, the warming things on dogs. The problem is that the warming pads are really necessary for dogs and cats in surgery, especially longer surgeries. So they are necessary, but they have potential problems, as may have happened here.
Thanks for the call, Kim. John, you're next with Howie Carr and Dr. Matt. Go ahead, John.
Dr. Matt, Howie, how are you?
Good.
I have two questions. I have a Norfolk Terrier.
Yep.
Age unknown. I found him in Florida 3 years ago by the side of the road, hungry and dirty.
Okay, so at least 3.
So first question, and I'll wait for that answer. He licks upholstery. Cloth. He will lick any couch I put him on.
Yeah.
It's better than licking a chair, isn't it, John? Come on, you got to look on the bright side of things.
Yeah,
the bright side is true. I've never seen a dog do that in my life.
Is it non-seasonal? Does he do it winter, summer, and spring?
You know what? I never observed that. Why?
Because it may be allergy. Dogs do lick themselves and sometimes will lick furniture more if they have an allergy. So I would certainly have your dog evaluated at least for that.
Now, my second question is, every time he hears Biden, he starts to stutter and spit his teeth out.
Let's see. I don't know if I have a
Maybe Biden pulled his tail, John. Thanks for the call. That's at least the third call we've had tonight about a terrier.
Yeah, right.
It's just big terrier night.
Yeah. And odd behaviors. That terriers are an interesting group of dogs for sure.
Joel, you're next with Howie Carr and Dr. Matt. Go ahead, Joel.
Hey, Dr. Matt, Howie. I have 2 kittens. Well, they're 7-month-old brother and sister, and they run around the house all the time. And every now and then, it doesn't matter if there's bowel movement or not. One will sneak a lick, or the other one's fat. Why is that?
Well, especially have they been spayed and neutered?
Yes, they have.
Okay. They both make scent glands. They're called anal glands and scent glands. They may be trying to clean each other. They may be attracted to each other's scent glands. I don't know that there's a whole lot you can do about it. I don't suppose it's anything that's going to cause any great deal of illness.
Thanks for the call, Joel. Clifford, you're next with Howie Carr and Dr. Matt. Go ahead, Clifford.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I just had a quick question about the supplements that are advertised a lot, the dried stuff that you sprinkle on the food.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if you could give an opinion about, with no particular company.
Oddly enough, I am kind of a fan. I think that some of these supplements, they are a huge variety and they do a number of different things. I actually use a calming one for my dog, and I think it works. It's not, those sort of supplements aren't a cure-all, but they can help. You want to look and see what's in the supplement. I think certainly the vitamin and sometimes the fatty acid supplements make sense because they're probably fresher than the food that you're feeding. So I think first of all, in medicine, we first do no harm. I don't think they do any harm, and I think they have the chance of doing some good.
When you're shopping for supplements or for any kind of pet food, should you look to see what country the product is manufactured
Sure.
in?
Yeah. No, I think some of absolutely the dog foods, especially, I do tend to stick with North America or Australia where the manufacturing is. That doesn't guarantee that it's going to be a perfect product, but it certainly heightens the chances that it's going to be a healthy product.
Yeah, I just because you read these stories every once in a while, about a recall from foreign dog foods.
No, and you have to, and some of the U.S. ones too. So you do have to be careful. I mean, after 2 or 3 recalls, I'm sort of reticent to recommend that food anymore.
Thanks for the call, Clifford. Charlie, you're next with Howie Carr and Dr. Matt. Go ahead, Charlie.
Dr. Matt, hi, Howie. Thank you for taking the call. My wife and I, we just got a 11-and-a-half-year-old Boston Terrier because the dog was going to be orphaned.
Yep.
And we've never had it before. And the weirdest thing, we've had it for about 5 months now. Every morning, about between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., she wakes up, looks at the sky, and she howls like a coyote 2 or 3 times. It's the thing.
Yeah, another terrier, huh? Jeez.
4.
Yes.
Count them, 4. One more for the thumb.
Another terrier with an oddball behavior. Probably, again, nothing too harmful except to your sanity. A little melatonin might help at bedtime. 1 milligram, maybe 2 milligrams at night. That might help.
Come to think of it, though, there was some kind of special moon earlier this week, right?
Yeah, but if it's every night, then it's moon irrespective. So
okay.
yeah, it was a full moon, and so if the full moon is probably at its high point at 1 or 2 in the morning, then you can make a case for it. Maybe you need better blinds. I don't know.
So do dogs react to full moons like humans do?
Well, I definitely think dogs get they have definitely circadian rhythms, and they may be in some ways linked to the moon. And so, we certainly see more illness and more of certain types of illness depending on the time of year. I would think more based on the sun than the moon.
Did I speak of Boston Terriers? Did I read once that at one point Boston Terriers were the most popular purebred in America? Yeah. Really?
Yeah, it's been, as we talked about earlier, Cocker Spaniels for the first 50 years. Labradors, Golden Retrievers, Boston Terriers, Irish Setters have been very popular from time to time. It's really kind of unusual. And why would a Frenchie be so much more popular than a Boston Terrier? I'm not saying they're the same dog. Right, exactly. Yeah. Pugs are always popular because they're just so great with people. And so they're very rarely fall out of the top 20.
Right. Exactly. Marilyn, you're next with Howie Carr and Dr. Matt. Go ahead, Marilyn.
Okay. Hello, Dr. Matt. I've listened to your show quite a few times now. We have a rescue Yorkshire Terrier.
5 for the thumb.
She's a purebred.
Yep.
She does have weird habits, but she was, for the first 2.5 years of her life, she was kept in a crate and just bred.
Sure.
And she had never even been outside.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have her, and I noticed that she has quite a bit of plaque or tartar on her teeth.
Yep.
She hates it when I brush them.
Yep.
And if I brush them, it doesn't seem to do any good. It doesn't take them off. I give her those dog chews.
Yeah.
My vet said that to clean her teeth, he'd have to put her to sleep. And
we prefer under anesthesia, but yeah.
Yeah. Well,
so here's kind of the deal. To really get your dog's teeth clean, they do have to do a dentistry with an ultrasonic scaler. Those dogs definitely have to be under anesthesia, and that can be expensive because some teeth have to get pulled, some teeth have to get repaired, and all the teeth have to get cleaned. I will tell you, however, that is the best way to get back to square one where your dog has healthy teeth. I will tell you, whether you notice it or not, what you're doing is helpful. They have these enzymatic toothpaste and enzymatic wipes. They really do help. However, some dogs, especially Yorkies, actually get some osteoporosis in the front of their face, and their teeth will start to loosen up, irrespective of their dental health.
If she was looking for that online, how do you spell? I don't know how to even spell it. Enzymatic?
Yeah, enzyme. Yeah,
enzyme.
One called Canine Enzymatic Toothpaste, CET, and you can buy that at any pet store. They make wipes too. They really do work, even though you don't notice it immediately. It's a slow process where you might notice a response 6 months from now.
And how if you do decide to go for the more expensive thing, put the dog under anesthesia and get it done? How often do you have to do that?
Yeah, it totally depends on the dog. The worst case scenario, I saw a dog that came back 6 months down the road and clearly needed another dentistry. I would say the average is 2 to 4 years.
Yeah, so it's
probably 2 to 4 years.
Yeah, so that kind of
you do something.
Yeah, that kind of cuts the price down a little bit. Okay,
yeah.
Thanks, Marilyn. That was a good question. Paulette, you're next with Howie Carr and Dr. Matt. Go ahead, Paulette.
Hi, Dr. Matt. No, I'm not calling about another terrier because I've been listening to your show. I'm calling about a female long-haired calico cat. There's been a change in the person that she was extremely attached to, where that person has left now, and it's been almost a month now.
Yeah.
She seems to be depressed.
Right.
Currently, she's on a quarter of a tablet of Prozac because she was just very, very unfriendly.
Mm-hmm.
And she was hissing all the time at anybody who would walk in the house.
Yeah.
She's a little bit better.
Yep.
But I have noticed that she seems extremely sad.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, like, if they can understand that this person that they were extremely attached to is no longer here.
Right. I absolutely think they can understand that. First of all, virtually all calico cats are female because of the color combination are only available on the X chromosome. So but the cats are complex psychologically, like dogs are complex and people are complex. So yeah, when they're accustomed to a human being, I think it's worse for a cat or a dog because a person, hey, you can explain, hey, they're off at college, they've moved away, any of those things. But to a cat, that person is now dead. I mean, I can't explain it any other way than I think that's how dogs and cats understand it. And so you do have to worry that the cat absolutely can be depressed and it can be sad. There's only so much you can do about it. I certainly think trying an antidepressant, amitriptyline, Prozac, which is fluoxetine, those are very good products and can help a cat sort of get over it. I think the thing of cats is when they develop a new habit, cats are so ritualistic that sometimes this is just the funk that they're in right now. And if you can get them out with medication or doing something else or, environmental enrichment or even pheromone therapy, which is available, you can sort of break the spell, and then they'll develop a new attachment, and then they'll be better.
Thanks for the call, Paulette. We're going to take a break. Again, what's your number, Dr. Matt, if people want to call you and get your services?
My number is 978-948-8189.
All right, we'll be back, and stay on the line, everybody, and we'll take a bunch more calls when we come back. 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr.
Holding the Hackorama accountable is a full-time job.
I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
You're winning, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Everybody out at once.
Howie Carr will be back after this short break.
This hour of the Howie Carr Show is brought to you in part by Old New England Soap. Old New England Soap makes the best Woodwick soy candles as well as goat milk soaps, bath bombs, and now offering gift sets for Mother's Day and any other occasion. Go to oldnewenglandsoap.com. Nauset Beach Inn is open with a fireplace in each room. Take advantage of their Ocean View room off-season rates, still available through May and June. All rooms have 2 queen beds and are pet-friendly. Nauset Beach Inn is the only hotel on the Cape Cod National Seashore. Contact-free check-in and check-out. Don't hesitate. These rooms go fast.
Yeah.
Reserve now at nausetbeachinn.com. That's nausetbeachinn.com. Let's make sure we get all the
Kathy
all the
Ireland
plugs.
Gem
I got to
was
get
one
this
of the
plug for
hottest selling
this
gifts
guy.
this
This guy's got to go into the bag.
This Mother's Day,
one.
give
Might
a
as well
gift
take
that
that
will
out on
provide
now, I
a
guess.
lifetime of sparkling clean jewelry. I use mine every week, and my
put it in my
jewelry
bag.
looks amazing. So join the clean jewelry revolution. Get yours now. Go to mygemspa.com, use promo code GRACE, and save $10. Plus, get free shipping. That's mygemspa.com, promo code GRACE, and get $10 off, plus free shipping.
This is going to sound immodest, but I'm obviously a top tier